Oh, I listened to a podcast today. Chad Doom.
proud to broadcast high school athletics
online
from Portland's West Side.
We are Westside Mobile Media,
Banks, Oregon.
Banks Braves High School Athletics on Westside Mobile Media, presented by Jason Bond Remodeling, brought to you by Andy McNabb Allstate, Banks Post Newspaper, Chris Ressick of Edward Jones Financial Forest Grove, EconoFab Pole Buildings, Jason Bond Remodeling, Jim's Market, Christy Van Meter at Caliber Home Loans, LaHaye's Custom Embroidery of Hillsborough, Main Street Pizza, Northside Rock, Oregon Army National Guard, Oregon Coffee Roaster, Sarah Hesselman Keller Williams Realty, Scoggins Creek Coffee, Shannon Jennings Insurance, Specialty Screen Printing, Tenente's Pizza, Terry Powell American Family Insurance, and Wana Credit Union. Now here's the voice of Westside Mobile Media, Trevor Beard, alongside color analyst Jonathan Lee.
Good evening and welcome to 4A District 1 football, formerly known as the Coapa League, but last couple of years some of the 5A teams have been dropping down to 4A. 4A teams have been dropping down to 3A and so on and so forth. Joining me tonight, as usual this year, is Jonathan Lee. I want to make sure I get the last name correct. Last week the Banks Braves picked up 2 wins with a forfeit victory against Valley Catholic. Tillamook, you may notice in the standings, officially number 1 tonight in the district for that reason, as Valley Catholic had to forfeit yet another game this season. Last week the Braves picked up 2 victories with a win over 3A Amity, 56-22. Jonathan, really impressed by the Braves offense in that second quarter, 28 points, and that was really the difference in the game as the Braves kind of rolled from that point after halftime in the second half.
Yeah, the Braves are really starting to kind of feel the last couple of games. They've been starting to really roll with their offense and get their identity kind of established and saying, being a little bit more well-balanced with over 200 yards passing, over 200 yards rushing. A great breakout game from Aaron Brown at the wide receiver. He had 135 yards, 5 catches, 3 touchdown receptions last week. And then Jamar Flippin with 5 carries, over 100 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns as well. So, yeah, this offense is really cooking right now. They're looking to cook some seagull here tonight.
Seaside, on the other hand, comes in scoring just over 200 points in their 5 victories, giving up just 44 points, the largest margin of victory in league so far. Seaside's defense averaging, giving up just under 9 points a game. Could be tonight the first team to 30 wins.
Well, they were really tested last week. This is their second time that they've traveled out on the road. This one, they were probably a little bit more relieved because, they would have had to leave a little bit later. And they didn't have to go quite as far here in the Banks. Last week they went all the way into Southeast Portland to play the Milwaukee Mustangs, and Milwaukee really took it to them. It actually took a late field goal by one of the state's best kickers. We're going to talk about him a little bit later, Caleb Bartell, for Seaside to prevail 16-14. So they got a real battle in Milwaukee. I really think they're going to have a huge battle here tonight, and if they're not ready, they're going to get socked in the mouth because this is the Banks offense like you talked about that is really rolling right now, and they're ready to punch and punch hard.
You mentioned special teams, and if this game is a one-possession game, special teams could play a very pivotal role with Wyatt Hesselman, 8 for 8 last week on extra points, has 3 or 4 field goals this season already. Talk about that a little bit.
Both of these kickers coming in are perfect on extra points and field goals. And they can kick from the parking lot here in Banks and kick a field goal. So that's going to be, like we talked about, special teams need to be special. Well, tonight, special teams will have to be extra special. And, something we're also going to talk about a little bit later on this pregame show is field position. That's going to be at a premium for both sides because both these kickers can really pin you back deep. So it's going to be all about, coaches really got, as the coaches down there, Coach Tanabe for Seaside, Coach Linehan for Banks, have really got to be, taking word from their assistant coaches. They're going to have to be really sharp on, where we have the ball out and what their decisions, what we want to do, because you got to think about that field position, because that's going to be something you're going to have to win tonight.
One other thing I want to talk about before we go to break, midway through 4A District 1 play, and we pretty much already got playoffs determined. Really the only thing left to decide is order of finish, or where those teams will be seated headed to the playoffs. Banks, Seaside, and Tillamook, basically outside of Tillamook's forfeit win over Valley Catholic, basically all three teams teams tied headed in to tonight's game. Either Banks or Seaside will be tied with Tillamook after tonight. Astoria at Milwaukee, the winner of that game, or Milwaukee actually at Astoria, the winner of that game will have a very slim outside chance at possibly winning out and sneaking into a number 3 position, but Tillamook, Banks, and Seaside really have pretty much all wrapped up the top 3 playoff spots, and either this game tonight or Banks' game at home against Tillamook could very well decide for a District 1 league champion.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Trevor. These next 3 weeks starting tonight is really going to be about who's going to be the number 1 seed out of the District 1 conference. Tonight, it's Banks and Seaside, both 2-0, and like you said, really outside, Tillamook should also be 2-0 as well. In games played on the football field, they're 2-0, but they got that forfeit win because Valley Catholic's just struggling right now with injuries and the numbers. They've had some COVID issues as well going on, so they're just really depleted roster. And hearts go out to them. I mean, I know there's, if you're Valley Catholic and you're tuning in our way in, thank you, first of all, for joining us, but also, we feel for you, and you know what, if you're Valley Catholic, there are better days to come. There have been better days for Valley Catholic, and there are better days to come for Valley Catholic. But, back to the task at hand. The next 3 weeks for that top spot, tonight, Seaside and Banks, and then, of course, next week, Seaside is going to go home to host Tillamook, so that's going to have a huge implications to that, and then, of course, Tillamook, as you mentioned, right back here at Kelly Field, October 29th, to take on the Banks Braves, which could be, what happens, depending on what happens tonight, don't want to get the cart before the horse, but, that could be a game where it could be for the league title, or it could be a game where Banks already has the league title. A lot of things to talk about, but that's going to be shaken out over the next 3 weeks.
Well, we'll take a 1-minute break, and when we come back, we'll send it over to Jonathan with Lee's keys to the game and Walker's ways to victory. Again, a tribute to the late David Walker, longtime anchor at KVAL, CBS affiliate in Eugene, and also a longtime OSAA state championship broadcaster who passed away early last week. We'll take a 1-minute break and be back with Lee's keys to the game and tonight's schedule and scoreboard for other games from around the state right after this.
Thinking about updating your kitchen or bath? James Bond Remodeling has over 20 years experience fabricating and installing stone countertops and can upgrade your home with the countertops of your dreams without the dreamy price tag. They pride themselves on quality and customer satisfaction. They offer stone countertop fabrication and installation and cabinet installation services. They'll do their best to beat any bid by 10%. Based locally in Washington County, they'll do jobs in most Portland metro locations. Call 503-753-9993 or email jasonbondremodeling@gmail.com. Jason Bond Remodeling, Oregon CPV number 227733.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
Welcome back to Kelly Field. It is Westside Mobile Media's Game of the Week. The number 6 Banks Braves hosting the number 15 and number 7 Seaside Seagulls. I'm Jonathan Lee. We're going to take a look at Lee's keys to victory, Walker's ways of victory. And you see it right there, the point number 1. First off, the goal of this defense should be to get off the field and give the ball back to the Banks offense. Don't give Seaside's offense extended drives. Yes, no 11-minute drives like we saw last week against Amity. Obviously, you can do that against 3A schools and get away with a W, but you can't make it a habit, especially against these tougher teams like Seaside or Tillamook or Marshfield, Marist. Keep them to 3 downs and set up a 4th down decision. Also, Lawson Talamontes, we'll just call him LT tonight because, trust me, he is, just think of Lawrence Taylor. He's that explosive and powerful. The primary running back of 3 for the Seagulls offense, district wrestling champion for Seaside with multiple offers coming from colleges for wrestling. LT moved over from tight end last year. You may remember him as tight end, Trevor. This year he's a running back because Coach Tanabe said they want to get their best kid the ball. He's 205 pounds and powerful with a quick burst of speed. Charlie White and that Banks linebacking crew will have their hands full all night. And if they can contain LT and the Seagulls running back trio, they can be successful. Now on the other side of the ball, it's a 2-time all-district linebacker for LT. And Coach Tanabe says he makes the calls. He gets everybody lined up. He's the leader on defense. LT, true to the initials, will look to make himself at home in the Banks backfield, and that cannot happen. I know, understatement of the night, right? If the Braves want to get to 3-0 and stay alive for that District 1 title. Right there, the third thing right there, we've got 2 of the best kickers in the state, maybe 2 of the best in the state, 2 best kickers here in the district, maybe 2 of the best in the state on this field tonight. Caleb Bartell for Seaside and Wyatt Hesselman for these homestanding Bank Braves. Coach Tanabe says about Bartell, he consistently makes teams start their drives at the 20-yard line. That is a huge weapon. I agree with him. That is a huge weapon. He was the kicker of the year in this district a season ago. He put more than 50% of his kickoffs into the end zone. Now, if that sounds familiar, it should be to Braves Nation because Wyatt Hesselman has shown that he has a pretty powerful leg as well, not just on kickoffs, but also punting the ball as well. The bottom line is the team that wins the field position part of this game will have a huge leg up on the competition, pun intended there. But all kidding aside, Banks has to win the field position battle all night. Don't let Bartell hurt you with either his legs kicking the ball or running the ball. He's one of the 3 backs that will carry the pigskin for the Seagulls. And finally, Seaside likes to run the ball like we saw at Estacada, and like that, they have a power running game, but they can also pass the ball as well. And the Seagulls would love nothing more than to fly. The Seagulls would love to do nothing more than to fly in here, drop their loot on Kelly Field, and fly out victorious, leaving the Braves to clean up the mess. So Seaside has very tall and speedy receivers, some that can tower over the Banks DBs. But the old adage, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, right? It's how hard he bites. And it's going to take restricted airspace. Make them run the ball at your strong linebacking core. If you can do that, I like your chances. So if you're a Banks defender, you got to know your role, play that role, and be ready to help your teammate when needed. Be flexible. So there you go. That's your Lee's keys to a Banks victory. Now for the keys to successful home buying and selling, you can count on Sarah Hesselman, Keller Williams Realty, to help you lead you to victory in the home buying and selling game. We'll talk more about tonight's matchup between the Banks Braves and the Seaside Seagulls right after this quick timeout. You're listening to Banks Braves football on Westside Mobile Media.
Thinking about buying or selling a home? Sarah Hesselman, realtor with Keller Williams Realty, will help you with your real estate needs. Call 503-313-0748 or email Sarah at sarahhesselman.com. Serving your community daily and proud to support the starting lineup of your Banks Braves. Sarah Hesselman, realtor with Keller Williams Realty. Call 503-313-0748.
Small businesses represent so much more than the uniqueness of our area and the personality of our communities. Local business also represents the hard work and history of the places we live, which is why Wana Credit Union is staying open, so that your business can stay open too. Wana Credit Union offers all types of commercial lending options, including business credit cards, vehicle and equipment loans, small business lines of credit, and more. Stop by a branch, reach out to our commercial team, or check out wanafcu.org to open your doors and keep them open so that your business thrives for years to come. Wana Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
And we're back. Jonathan Lee has a look at the Wana Credit Union scoreboard for other games from around the state tonight.
Starting out wide receiver, 5'10" senior.
While Jonathan pulls that up, we can tell you about two other games. In District 1 tonight, Tillamook is hosting Marshfield in a matchup of two top 10 teams. Jonathan, I think, is ready for the scoreboard now, so we'll send it over to him.
Yeah, we had some games that were played last night in some Thursday night football. Not sure what was up with that, but hey, Estacada, they had their closest game of the year last night. They got by Malala on the road 25-14. Also, Marist took down Cottage Grove last night 56-16. And number 10, North Eugene, beat up on Sweet Home 42-14. Other games in District 1 tonight of note, Milwaukee is at Astoria, and Marshfield is at Tillamook. That's a non-league game. Tillamook was supposed to play Valley Catholic, but Valley Catholic had to, as we talked about, had to postpone, had to forfeit.
Go over the rankings, too.
So let's take a look at the 4A top 10 rankings, and there has been some shift since earlier this weekend. Actually, just today was some shifting in the 4A top 10 rankings. But sitting atop the 4A top 10, these are the OSAA rankings. Cascade still number 1, but then Estacada number 2, but then Marshfield has slipped to 4th. Mazama has replaced them at number 3, and Marist slips down to number 5. From there, Banks is number 6, LeGrand 7, North Valley 8, Tillamook, and North Eugene rounds out the OSAA top 10.
They switched tonight since that. Oh, okay. Sorry.
The OSAA requests that you model good sportsmanship by refraining from
and we're back. Thank you, Jonathan, for a look at the OSAA 4A top 10 rankings. Banks will be wearing their home navy blue uniforms with Vegas Gold numerals and white trim, white helmets with navy blue stripe down the side, down the middle with the navy blue and Vegas Gold arrowhead. One moment for tonight's national anthem.
Steve Lyda, Chad Graham, Jason Tufts, Dusty Hara, Matt Evenson, Sam Riddle, Perry Herbst, and Tyler Carey. The Banks High School band will now perform the national anthem. The flag is over behind the score clock.
I just realized I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Corrected you.
Games. right. Well, captains, get ready to go out and do the official things. Please go and check out the new grill over at the concession stand. Burger Dan is cooking up some nice dinners tonight. That is a brand new.
Is back ready to go for the kickoff.
Thank you. Assisting our good friend John Chapman, voice of the Gulls, with some of the roster situations tonight as he got here just a few minutes ago. About a minute left, and
Tonight will be,
Jonathan, I think we had our mics turned off as you were wrapping up there. Can you kind of go over what happened there on the coin toss again?
all of our youth football programs.
Yeah, so there was two captains for the Banks Braves tonight. Usually it's four. It was Michael Perrine and Charlie White who were the captains. Banks has won the toss, and of course, as we've seen, anytime they won the toss, they elected to defer to the second half. So Banks will be kicking off to Seaside, who will be they'll be kicking to Seaside from north to south as Kelly Field runs.
So Wyatt Hesselman will tee it up at the 40-yard line.
Cooper Rogan and number 12, Jared White, back deep.
Cooper Rogan and Jared White are back to return Wyatt Hesselman's kickoff here for the Seaside Seagulls.
Seaside will be in their road white uniforms, red S on the sides of the helmet, red stripe down the center, red pants with white lettering on the knee length, or on the pants, red numerals on the front and back, very similar to Stanford uniforms. And kick is going to be taken down near the 5. Far side, and breaking the tackle, slipping forward to about the 25 on the return is number 7, Cooper Rogan.
Tackled by number 30.
Kelly Field at Banks High School runs north and south, near side of the field. The home side is the west side of the field. Far side, the visitor bench, is the east side of the field, closer to Highway 26. Banks, one of the last teams in 4A to play on an all-natural grass field.
Braves showing a 4-man front.
And the give up past the 30. Good gain on first down. Big. Just about everybody on the field in on that gang tackle. And number 23, Talamentes, good gain there that time on first down after the give from Carson Kawaso.
Yeah, that looks like a big old-fashioned rugby scrum, something you would see late nights on ESPN, late nights or early Saturday mornings on ESPN. You know, those big old huge rugby scrums. Everybody trying to get to the ball carrier.
So gain of 6, close to 7 for the Gulls, and probably a false start against Seaside.
False start indicated against the Seagulls.
So that's a big play for the Braves, as now instead of second down and short, this will put Seaside in a second and about, they only moved the down marker about 2 yards. Now they're moving it back to where it should be. It should be about second down and 8.
Yeah, you're right on. It's going to be second and 8.
Bulls will have a second down and 8.
Ball marked back to the 27. Need to get to the 35 for a first down. Big push up the middle, but gets a little bit shy of the 30-yard line, though, so it'll bring up the first big third down of the play. Third down of the game for Seaside on third down and about 7.
And this is one of the keys we talked about, Trevor, is getting out on third down, getting your defense off the field on third down. 3 and outs is what Banks needs to get more of.
Kawasow out of shotgun, sends a man in motion right to left, throws it to him in the backfield on a screen play that's set up beautifully, and Seaside's going to get the first down and about an extra yard. On third down and 7, they pick up about 8 or 9 and get up past the 35.
Jamar Flippin coming over from his defensive back position to make the stop there. The initial hit was in there by Aaron Brown, but Jamar Flippin coming in to finish him off.
35-yard line out to the 36.
Seaside with a tight formation. One man to the near side, looks like number 12, Jared White. And going to try a little trickery, I think, that time. Fake the handoff to number 18, Caleb Bartell. He tried to go right up the middle, and nothing fooling the Braves that time. He'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Or actually, Talamontes did have the football. He did have the ball. It was a little misdirection play, but they were all on it, ready for it, and pushed it backwards.
So second down and 10 after no gain on the carry by Talamentes. This time Kawasow comes under center and will turn and give it to Bartell off the far side and picks up a full head of steam, and it's going to get about 6 or 7 yards, but it's going to bring up third down again for Seaside. And we have a whistle early, and Bartell is down.
Yeah, that's not a good. It looks like he's favoring. You never want to speculate on exactly the injury, but it looks like he's favoring grabbing his like towards his knee area. And I mean, he's their kicker. He's an all-state kicker. So this is really concerning for Seaside right now.
And Banks players coming off the field. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this. Hopefully, Caleb Bartell will be able to come up off the field after that. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Rankings are important numbers in determining Oregon high school playoffs. So are rankings when choosing a lender to help you with purchasing or refinancing your home. Our local community home loan expert, Christy Van Meter at Caliber Home Loans, is ready to help you win the day. Call Christy today for all of your home loan needs at 503-327-5302 or caliberhomeloans.com/kvanmeter. Christy Van Meter, NMLS number 1700271, state licensed in Oregon, an equal housing lender. All products are subject to credit and property approval.
It's a cramp or something. They're stretching it out now.
Taking a look at his left leg, doesn't appear to be too serious. He is sitting up, but not standing up yet. Trying to bend that left knee. And now he will stretch it out and come up off the field under his own power with no assistance. Third down and about 4 for Seaside. Ball at the 41, 42-yard line. Could be a short 5.
Great job by the Banks training staff to come out there with the assist, as it appears Seaside does not have a trainer, or maybe not a medical trainer at the site.
Ball at the 41-yard line of the Seagulls.
Seaside does have a trainer listed on their roster, but didn't See anybody come out and whistles timeout. Don't see a flag on the play. Timeout Banks.
Timeout called by the Braves.
Yeah, I'm sure they just going over notes here and reminding them of the game plan right here.
8:55 to go in the first quarter. No score. Timeout Banks will take a 30-second break and be back after this 30-second Terry Powell American Family Insurance timeout.
At American Family Insurance, protecting farms is at the heart of what we do. After all, it's where we got our start more than 90 years ago. We understand it's more than a farm, it's your life. And that's why we offer customizable policies that protect what you've worked for. Let's build the policy your farm deserves.
Call American Family Agent Terry Powell in Gaston, 503-521-8842.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
American Family Insurance.
And we're back, 8:55 to go in the first quarter. No score. Seaside on the opening drive of the game after the Braves timeout with a third down and about 4. And Seaside's going deep. Flag on the play. And I think this one may be coming back, possibly a hold on the opposite side of the play. And it should be fourth down. I'm sure if it's against Seaside, the Braves will decline this.
Number 85.
If it's against Seaside, Banks should decline the penalty. It would make it fourth down. Ineligible receiver is the indication. Tapping the top of the head by the white hat official.
Illegal procedure.
Illegal procedure.
Penalties decline. That's a 4th and 5 ball at the 41.
So Seaside will punt, standing back at around his own 30. Now backing up to the 25, Jamar Flippin with 8:54 left.
This looks like almost
High snap as well over the head of Tanner Croshower. It's going to go back near the goal line, still boots it, and it's going to be a safety.
Davon Vereen, the one that tackled him in the end zone. Davon Vereen, one of the defensive leaders for this Banks Braves team last week.
So a loss of about 20 on the punt as Croshower is tackled in the end zone for the first 2 points of the game that come on a safety with 8:44 to go in the first quarter. It's 2-0 Banks. We'll keep things here.
Well, that was not exactly the kind of start we expected to see here, and things were kind of, it's interesting that a big, something big like that happens because it's kind of like a lull a little bit, just kind of quiet there for a second, and then just that action right there, excitement there, and the Braves get 2 points on the scoreboard.
So Banks again will get the ball right back after Seaside will have to kick it away after the safety.
Test.
Banks had another safety earlier this season. I think, it was here at home, so it had to have been a non-league game. Can't remember who it was, though, but it was a similar play where the kicker was, I think the ball actually was hiked out of the back of the end zone on a punt.
Back deep for the Braves, number 31, Jamar Flippin, and number 15, Aaron Brown.
Aaron Brown and Jamar Flippin back for the Braves, and not a very deep kick. It's going to bounce and come up to the 35. Jamar takes it on the bounce and gets to the outside and lunges forward with a late flag as he crosses into Seaside territory, but is it going to come back?
There's a penalty marker on the play.
Penalty was thrown. It's against, it looks like illegal block in the back against the Braves. Only played about half of the first quarter, and it seems like already it's taken about 15 or 20 minutes with the timeouts and the injuries and the penalties and Just a long start so far to this game. So the penalty will move the ball back to the 40, first and 10 for the Braves on their first offensive drive of the game, and whistles. Officials timeout. And now, not sure why they blew the whistle. I think just trying to make sure they were all set on the correct spot of the ball. And Goebel out of shotgun, gives to Jamar, spun around and is not, got away from the first tackle momentarily, but it's going to be thrown back at the 35, a loss of 5. And we talked about the Seaside defense during the pregame. Looks like early on that play, at least, they've come to play, a loss of 4. Goebel flipping to his left, looks to throw, and avoids the tackle, gets back maybe about a yard past the original line of scrimmage. It'll bring up third down and long.
Gain of 1 on the play. Third down and 13 for the Braves.
$7:20 to go in the first quarter. Banks a 2-0 lead after Seaside's punt on their opening possession went backwards about 20 yards and was tackled in the end zone. Goebel rolls left, still looking in his hit, and dives forward back to the original line of scrimmage. Back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th and about 13, and Braves will have to punt on their first possession.
Yeah, Trevor, Goebel that time just didn't get any blocking help there. He's kind of running for his life back there a little bit on that play. He tried to find a little window. Maybe he's holding on to the ball a little bit too long, but really didn't even really have time like he had last week.
And Hesselman has to maneuver a little bit to come up with the kick, and it gets away from return man Jared White, and it's going to be down at the 24, first and 10 Seaside with 6:17 to go in the first quarter.
And we talked about field position battle, win the battle of field position, and right now that's what Banks is doing. When you have the ball, you want to make sure you get it back and pin them deep, keep them around the 20-yard line to start. But we'll see what the Banks defense can do here and see if they can get a 3 and out. They didn't on Seaside's first drive, so now it's Seaside's second drive. Let's see if Banks can get a 3 and out.
Kawaso under center. 3 receivers set, man in motion, and give off the right side, gets a couple up to the 25.
That was great pursuit by Charlie White right there. He was reading that all the way. He was staying home. He saw Talamontes trying to get to the edge there, and Charlie White met him right there and said, "Oh, no, you don't," and drug him down there. He might have gotten a yard, maybe, if that, but Charlie White, the point was right there. That's 1 down. You got 2 more downs to go.
Seaside late coming out of the huddle. Lone receiver to the top looks like number 85, Connor Langmo. And spins, gives it inside. Going to be another short gain of about 2 or 3 on the carry. Looked like number 25, Brady Jackson.
It was Cooper Rogian that carried the ball that time. Big old number 7. He's a tall, lanky guy. Goes 6'4", 205. Senior. Big third down here for the Braves coming up.
Third down and 6. Kawaso now back out of shotgun. Quick snap, looks to go deep, and it is jump ball knocked away. Great defense, no flag on the play. Back in coverage, number 2, Jack Lyda down the far side. Pass intended, I think, for Connor Langmo down around the Braves 45.
Yeah, he was step for step with him that time. Lyda did just a great job of tracking the ball. Very clean play right there. I know some college DBs that could learn a lot from Lyda's play right there because he played the receiver perfectly, very clean, and just hung right with him and sets up a 4th down there.
Seaside had a safety last time they tried to kick it away, and Jamar Flippin up closer to the 50-yard line, this time back to receive around his own 37. And it's going to bounce at the 40 and take a couple of bounces. He'll pick it up on the second hop and has some room down the near side.
Look out.
And slides down inside the 40. Another late flag, though, 2 flags. And again, hopefully this isn't coming back.
Yeah, it's kind of in that area where it's like a hold or a block or something. Illegal block in the back, or the officials are going to talk about it. Maybe they'll pick it up. Looks like they're not going to, though.
Flag thrown at the 45. Indication is the penalty is against the Braves.
Looks like they're calling an illegal block in the back. I was afraid of that. They're spotting the ball at the Seaside 45, but then, yeah, that's where the foul occurred, so it's going to go back. Is it 10 yards or 5 yards? 10 yards to the other 45.
So it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Braves. Still pretty good field position from their own 45 to start their second drive of the game. 4:32 left in the opening quarter. Banks a 2-0 lead.
4.5 minutes in the first quarter.
High snap, Goebel, straight drop. Now he's going to step up into the pocket and keep it up past midfield. 45, slides down just shy of the 40, but it'll be a 1st down for the Braves on a big run by Cooper Goebel. Gain of about 13 on the carry by Cooper Goebel on the quarterback keeper. First and 10 for the Braves from the Seaside 43. Second drive of the game, deepest they've been able to drive in Gulls territory. Braves moving left to right. Clock under 4 minutes, first quarter. Goebel with Flippin the lone back. Gives it to Jamar. No, he fakes it and has some room to the outside, but took it to the near side of the field. Not much room, and gets about 3 or 4 inside the 40 to about the 38.
Yeah, Banks is at least starting to move the ball a little bit this time. You know, what they've done at the first drive, they were kind of passing the ball a little more, came out throwing it with Goebel, and now they're just running it. And this is really what you want to do, and they're trying to kind of, you know, establish what they want to do. You know, let Jamar get some runs in there, and that's going to help Jamar continue to keep going and establish, try to open up that passing lane.
2nd down and 6 for Goebel and the Banks Braves. 4 receivers set. Trips to the top on the left side. Goebel, straight drop, has to get rid of it in a hurry. Has Jamar! A screen pass is going to work for a 1st down, and more down the far side. Finally stopped at about the 15, out of bounds into the Seaside defense, and the Braves are in business in the red zone.
And what sprung Jamar out there as he got out in the open field was Charlie White laid a nice block downfield against the Seaside defender, and that allowed another 10, 15 more yards. If we would have gotten another block downfield a little bit from those receivers, he might have been gone to the house.
So a gain of 27 on the pass play from Goebel to Jamar Flippin. Puts the ball at the Seaside 16. Goebel with Flippin to his right. Trips to the near side, thrown, and it is caught! Touchdown, Charlie White! Right front corner of the end zone. Charlie White with the touchdown.
Yeah, and he actually led him a little bit too much. That was a great job by Charlie White to use his big frame. You know, Charlie White is big old 6'4", 6'5" guy out there, and he extended his hands up there a little bit to bring that ball down and catch it about the 5-4 yard line, and he just rumbled right on in for 6. So I'm kind of surprised here the Braves aren't going for 2 to make it an even 10.
But with the safety,
just go for the sure 1 point. I mean, why really go for two? I mean, just go for the sure
snap
thing.
is down, kick is up, and Hesselman 9 for 9. His last, going back to last game, makes the score 9-0 now with 2:36 to go in the first quarter. Number 6 Banks 9, Seaside 0 on a 16-yard pass play from Cooper Goebel to Charlie White. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this.
Proudly serving our neighbors in Washington County since 1946, LaHaye's is your destination for locally made Letterman's jackets, custom embroidery for business apparel or a unique gift, and scouting uniforms and supplies. LaHaye's is on the corner of 3rd and Main in historic downtown Hillsboro. Open Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4, and anytime online at lahayes.com or call us at 503-648-2341.
And we're back, 2:36 to go in the first quarter. Banks a 9-0 lead after a 16-yard pass play from Cooper Goebel to Charlie White. Kick is going to be taken by another late flag. Tackle made on number 33, the ball carrier, Kane Millhouse. Note for Seaside, Jonathan, last time Banks won the state title, it was between these two teams. Andrew Tubner, the one of the 4A top running backs in the state from that year. Two huge plays on national television last week for Boise State in their upset win over BYU on special teams, forcing a fumble and recovering a fumble, helping the Broncos to that win.
Yeah, this is the first time in 2 years that these two teams have played, as Seaside did not meet Banks in the spring season.
Seaside had some COVID issues last year, and that forced Banks to play Mazama. And Banks, one of their worst defeats in a number of years, losing 35-0 at Cottage Grove to the team from Klamath Falls. And the give off the far side, not much, maybe a couple of yards for Talamentes that time, off the 25 to about the 27.
We talked in the pregame, and the keys to this game is that Banks on defense, everyone would have to know their role and to execute that role and to be ready to help. And that time right there, we saw it played out. Everyone was staying right where they stayed home, played their assignment, they did their role, and it's keeping Seaside's running game just right there with almost nothing.
Tight formation with Langmo, the lone back to the top on the far side. And the give to Talamentes. No, actually it's number 7 this time. Grogian. And no gain if he even got back to the line of scrimmage. They're going to move the marker back 2 yards, back about a half yard ahead of the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and a long 9.
Yeah, they're going with Cooper Rogan a little bit more than they have in the last, at least the last ball game against Milwaukee. I think kind of using that size a little bit, he can see over the line, because the Banks line is just, they're right there. They're putting 5 guys up on the line every time. Right now it's down to, it's 5 guys out there on the line. They're spread out. So trying to see what they can do to see over the line.
This time, quarterback out of shotgun, Kawaso, and overthrown, intended for number 12, Jared White.
Jack Lyda again on the coverage.
So again, it will be 4th down for Seaside. I think they've only had 1 or 2 first downs, and that was on their opening possession, where they eventually had the ball snapped 20 yards behind the punter.
Jack Lyda at 5'10", may not be tall, but he plays huge for the Banks Braves. And there again, breaking up a long pass play, a little streak play for Seaside.
Flipping again back around his own 36, 37-yard line. Has had 2 returns, both called back on penalties. And low snap is going to take it. Oh! Lucky to get away with one there. Tried to catch it on the fly, and it dropped a little short and bounced on him and almost turned into a disaster.
Yeah, that was one of those plays where, you know, he was looking up. He kind of had one eye on the ball, one eye on the downfield, as you're taught there. But I think he got a little bit antsy there. He saw like too much green ahead of him, and he wanted to kind of to run and take off before he caught the ball. But great job by Jamar to just, you know what, I'm just going to pounce on it and keep the ball, and we're going to have the ball in good field position.
52 seconds left for the first quarter. 9-0 Braves lead. A safety on Seaside's opening possession, and then a 16-yard pass play from Cooper Goebel to Chuck White. Goebel out of shotgun, flipping to his right. Quick throw out through the hands. Tipped, and they're going to say incomplete. A couple of Seaside defenders, really a golden opportunity for the first turnover of the game as it went through the hands, I think, of Jamar Flippin, but Braves lucky to have second down and 10.
Yeah, how many lives do the Banks Braves offense does the Banks Braves offense have? I mean, we've seen that. It reminds me of the Gladstone game when Gladstone had several balls in the receiver's hands, but they dropped it. Break after break for the Banks Braves.
Second down and 10 from the 45. Goebel out of shotgun. Looks left, throws right, passes tipped and caught by number 4. I think that's Hunter Smith, and it's going to be a short gain. It'll be third down and long.
Yeah, Hunter did a great job there just getting open there on the outside, but couldn't quite shake the pack, and so just about a yard or two, if that.
So third down and long, and Seaside's defense here, at least early on this drive for the Braves, have stepped it up and forced Banks into a third and long on what could be, this should be the final play of the game if they get it, or of the quarter if they get it off in time.
Got Charlie White out wide to the right.
5 seconds left. Goebel, pass caught, near side. Jack Lyda down the near side, tackled at the Seaside 40 on 3rd and 9, a gain of about 15, and that'll give the Braves first and 10 when we come back to start the second quarter. It's number 6 Banks 9, Seaside nothing. We'll take a 30-second break and be back with more Banks Braves football action after this.
Andy McNabb Allstate in North Plains is your local Allstate agent. Located at 10120 Northwest Glencoe, across from Subway. She has 20 years of Allstate experience providing auto, home, renters, life, and other insurance products. Get a quote and receive a $10 gift card. Andy McNabb Allstate. Call 503-433-5030. That's 503-433-5030.
And we're back, Jonathan, talking a little bit about the wet field conditions tonight.
Yeah, that last play, I mean, I don't know if it's really wet. It's just I think it's the cold and, maybe, we have had some rain in, this week, but the last couple of days have been really dry, so it's had a chance to dry out. But this is a naturally grass field, and with the cold, maybe a little bit of moisture still down there as well. But the last couple of ball carriers, Jamar Flippin, and then now here with Lyda, I mean, they weren't tackled. They just got tripped up. So, I mean, I blame the landscaper here at Banks High School. I mean, it's just just tripping him up a little bit. At Oregon State, they like to say Goss got him. I guess you can say Kelly got him.
And we're back to start the second quarter. First down and 10 for the Braves after the pass play to Jack Lyda. Goebel out of shotgun. Fakes the give to Flippin. Quick throw out. Pass intended for Jack again. It would have been enough for a first down, but maybe a little bit too much on it. Couldn't handle the zip that time, and it's incomplete. Second down and 10.
Again, I think it's just kind of maybe, rushing the throw a little bit. He's not getting a whole lot of time, Goebel, back there to throw the ball. So kind of maybe just rushing, maybe just needs to kind of calm down, breathe a little bit.
Trips to the near side, 2 in tight offset, and Goebel straight drop to throw. Pass is tipped away, intended for Charlie White, and it's going to be 3rd and 10.
Yeah, need a little bit more height up on that ball. It was kind of thrown at a more of a lower trajectory and not as much height as he normally gets under that ball. I mean, if that ball would have been tipped, Charlie White had a lot of green in front of him.
11:52 to go in the first half. Banks a 9-0 lead over Seaside. Just underway in the second quarter. 3rd and 10 from about the 39. 4 receivers set. Goebel straight drop. Looking, throws, has a pass, caught. Charlie White thrown forward. Should be enough for the first down inside the 29, and they will move the markers. Looked like to about the 27. Gain of about 12 on 3rd and 10. Gives the Braves a first down.
Yeah, that was a great catch. Just coming right over the middle there, looking that direction. There was trips to the left side of the field for Banks that time, and Cooper Goebel was looking all the way, and he found his main man, Charlie White.
Well, actually marked it at the 24, gain of 15 on 3rd down and 9, just under 11 and a half minutes left in the first half. 9-0 Braves. Goebel gives to Flippin off the far side and has some room. Down the far side, tripped up, but a good gain on first down of about 8. Gets inside the 20 and will bring up 2nd down and short.
That was Rogan that made that last-ditch shoestring tackle right there. If it wasn't for that, Jamar Flippin was going to make a house call.
Not quite as much as we initially thought, as ball was on the far side of the field. It's still a good gain, though, of about 6 yards. Puts the ball at about the 18-yard line. Braves again in the red zone, this time moving right to left in the second quarter.
That was off an RPO there that time.
And a horrible snap, gets the ball rolled, and Goebel's going to keep it. It looks like a possible fake, and inside to the end zone, right front corner, Goebel on a broken play. Bad snap that actually rolled to him. Seaside, I don't know why they didn't try to pick it up, but I don't really think it was a trick play.
I was going to say I disagree there. I think that might have been planned because it looked like it, because he was going low to the ground and that ball was rolling all the way. Kind of a little variation to the fumble-rooski, I think, is what we saw right there. I think that was designed. I wouldn't put it past old Mr. Cole W. Linehan to run something like that in a big game.
17-yard run for Cooper Goebel on the touchdown into the right front corner of the end zone. Puts the Braves up now 2 full scores. The snap is high, and Christian Lyda's going to keep it. The holder, throw to the back of the end zone is caught. Jack Lyda, 2-point conversion is good. 17-0 Braves. 10:32 to go in the first half.
High degree of difficulty, and that one I don't think was designed, but that was called making something out of nothing right there.
And that's why you have your backup quarterback as the holder on kick plays. 10:32 to go in the first half. Banks 17, Seaside nothing. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from the Banks Post newspaper.
Banks Post newspaper is the official news provider of West Side's greatest hits. Listen hourly for West Side news from the Banks Post newsroom. Banks Post newspaper covers Banks, Manning, Buxton, Roy, and surrounding western Washington County communities. If you'd like more information on the Banks Post or want to pick up a copy, visit a local business today. You can also visit their website at bankspost.com or their Facebook page, Banks Post.
$17-0 the score after the 17-yard run from Cooper Goebel for the Braves' second touchdown of the game. The 2-point conversion on a broken play on what was designed to be the extra point. Low snap, Christian Lyda, backup quarterback, able to pick it up and throw to Jack Lyda in the back of the end zone for the 2-point conversion to put the Braves up 17-0. 10-11 to go in the first half. Seaside taking over, well, not taking over, but with the football now after the kickoff.
Seaside with a 1st and 10, starting at the 26-yard line.
1st and 10 for the Gulls from their own 26. And not much there, trying to spin his way forward. Look like Talamantes again.
Tackle by number 52, Braden Ball.
Braden Ball on the tackle for the Braves.
Gain of 1 on the play. Second down and 9.
Gain of a yard to the 27. Clock under 10 minutes first half. Braves a 17-0 lead.
We got a visitor overhead.
Air 12 from KPTV Fox 12 Portland, and a flag on the play to the near side. Looks like probably a false start on Seaside, and Braves may decline it because it's going to be a loss on the play anyways. Back behind the original line of scrimmage to the loss back to about the 24.
Penalty was declined.
Penalty is declined, as I thought, by the Braves. It'll be third down and 9 for Seaside. One less down for the defense to have to deal with. Well, Jonathan, Seaside's lot of defense coming into the game. They gave up just under 9 points a game, already doubling that here just in the first half.
Well, remember they played at Hidden Valley a few weeks ago, back on September 17th.
And the pass, another flag on the play, another late hit to the quarterback, possibly. Pass intended for Talamantes.
Yeah, finishing that point, they played Hidden Valley, another explosive offense, and they shut them out 35-0, and that was at Hidden Valley. So we've seen what this Banks defense can do when they execute the game plan.
Penalty is declined, so apparently it was against Seaside. Illegal man on the field, so maybe too many men for Seaside. 17-0, 9:15 to go in the first half, and another score here from Banks, and this may get out of hand here in the first half. Not really what we thought. Another low snap, skips to Seaside punter, and Jamal this time is going to get away with it, or going to get away from it. It's going to be down at the 34, but still decent field position for the Braves with 9:06 to go in the first half.
With 9 minutes remaining in the half, Braves will take over, have a 1st and 10.
Youth football night as the youngsters involved in the youth football program in grades 6 and below, I believe, will be recognized at halftime along with their coaches. Last week in the win over Amity was the unofficial homecoming, as the Rainier game scheduled for homecoming was canceled by Rainier. Goebel out of shotgun, flipping the lone back, trips to the far side, spread wide, and fake the give to Jamar. Looks to throw, passes. Oh, incredible grab by Charlie White with one hand. Spun down inside the 40, close to the 35 into Seaside territory. Looked like it was going to be a little bit too high. He says, no way, I got this, and stuck his big mid up and brought it down cleanly, no problem, and rambled down for a big first down for the Braves.
Charlie White is just a human highlight reel. He can, you just throw the ball in a certain direction, and Charlie's going to go get it. I mean, if you're Coach Cole Linehan and this coaching staff, you love having Charlie White on your team.
So from the 34 to the 50, 16 yards, another 12, a gain of 28 on the play to the 38 of Seaside. Pass that time through the hands. Again, a little bit too much zip on it that time from Cooper, intended for Aaron Brown. Second down and 10.
Yeah, just got to settle that in. I think a little bit too amped up that time on that highlight play, and he just got to Cooper, he's in the moment. He's the one that's getting the play calls going in, and I think he needs to breathe a little bit before he goes to the line and just, bring himself under composure a little bit to stay on task.
Second down and 10, 8:53 to go in the first half. 17-0 Braves, driving again after 2 touchdown passes from Cooper Goebel. Goebel rolls right out of the pocket, throws way downfield, has a man, Aaron Brown, can't come up with a grab in the end zone, and it's going to be third down and 10.
Yeah, that time Aaron was frustrated with himself right there. I think it was just maybe a little bit a little underthrown, or maybe just not good timing right there. But it had everything right there. I mean, Aaron had the 2 DBs beat.
3rd down and 10 from the 38. Clock stops with the incompletion, 8:45 to go in the first half.
Right over the middle part of the zone. They're basically attacking, Banks' offense is basically attacking the middle part of that Seaside defense back there. The coaches upstairs they're seeing something that they're seeing a weakness back there, and they're trying to exploit it.
Seaside only given up a total of 44 points their first 5 games. It's already 17 tonight in the first quarter and a half. Man in motion for the Braves is Aaron Brown. Goebel rolls right and still looking, throws deep again, and pass is there to be made and through the hands of Jack Lyda, 4th down.
Yeah, Lyda just, he wasn't, he just couldn't quite catch up to that one. That one just kind of sailed right out of his grasp that time.
4th, go ahead.
A little bit too much mustard thrown on that ball.
4th and 10 for the Braves, and I'm sure they will go for it too. Although Hesselman has come out onto the field.
Field position. We talked about it. You got a 17-0 lead, and so you're playing for the field position right here. Although, maybe watch for a fake, but the down and distance side, don't think we're gonna see a fake. I think it's more about field position. Pin him deep.
Again, bad snap, punts. It's blocked, and Aaron Brown picks it up and is spun down inside the Braves 43. Bad snap on the punt. Hesselman did a nice job to retrieve it, but couldn't keep the Seaside special teams defense at bay long enough, and it's blocked, and Braves recover, but on 4th down, Seaside takes over.
Yeah, I was afraid of that happening because, as he got the ball, but Wyatt did everything right. But by the time he went to kick the ball, I'm like sitting here thinking, get it off, because he's got 2 big uglies coming right at him in white jerseys, and they were like right there. So that's not Wyatt's fault at all. He just had no time. He had no chance. He did everything he could to get that off.
So Seaside with their best opportunity to score this game with 1 receiver to the near side. Telementez, short gain up the middle.
Tripped up. 2nd down and 8 for Seagulls.
2nd down and 8 from the 43. Clock winding near 8 minutes in the first half. Braves a 17-0 lead.
Seaside takes a lot of time in their huddle.
Last 4 games of the regular season at home for the Braves. Started with Amity last week, Seaside tonight, Tillamook, and Milwaukee. And quick pass into the backfield, screenplay. Nice job defended that time by the Braves. Catch made by Jared White, number 12, but going to be a short gain of about a yard to the 43. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they go with that. That's just not scouting Banks very well at all. They're going with that little slant screen pass over there. Banks will let them take that all night long because Banks will be right there to eat that up and eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and spit them back behind the line. Not a good call for Seaside coaches right there.
Clock under 7 minutes, 17-0 Braves lead first half. Kawaso out of shotgun. 4-5 receiver set. Ford offset to the far side. Pass is nearly intercepted. Nice job, Jack Lyda. Timed the jump perfectly, but looked like he was just trying to keep it away from the receiver and knocked it down. It's going to be 4th down and 7 for Seaside.
Yeah, again, very good, clean play by the defense right there. He was in perfect position, as you said, Trevor, just right there in front of the receiver. And you could actually see that height right there, the Seaside receiver towering over Lyda right there. Probably has about 4 or 5 inches right there. But there's that we talked about, being smart on defense, and they were smart. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the bite that he has, and that time Lyda's bite was bigger.
6:43 to go on the incompletion. Seaside will go down 3 scores with Under 7 minutes to go in the first half. 4th down and about 7. And whistles and a timeout, Seaside. 6:43 to go in the first half. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from Chris Recheck, Edward Jones, Forest Grove Financial Services.
In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? Call on someone who's invested in your success. I'm Chris Recheck, your Forest Grove Edward Jones financial advisor. At Edward Jones, we believe in building a complete picture of your financial life, including your goals and passions, so we can help you work toward achieving what's most important to you. Call me at 503-359-4092 or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
And we're back, 6:43 to go in the first half following Seaside's timeout. A big 4th and 7 for the Gulls, down 17-0. Braves hoping for another big 4th down stop here to keep Seaside off the board and get the ball back, maybe add more points before halftime. So tight formation, one receiver to the near side. Talamentes and another flag on the play, probably another false start. Kawaso goes to the air. It's thrown out of bounds to the near side on the Braves side of the field. Either way, it's going to be Braves football. I'm sure they'll decline the penalty, probably a false start.
Yeah, that's the first time right there tonight that we've actually seen that. That's an illegal shift is the call against Seaside, and that'll be the results of the play. So Banks is going to decline it and take over on downs right there. That time right there, that was Kraushar, who actually came out of his tight end spot. They came back as quarterback, and that is something that Coach Tanabe and Seaside would like to do. Coach Tanabe said earlier this year in a preview on from our friends at SB Live, Scorebook Live, he said that make no mistake, Kraushar is the tight end, but we reserve the right to play him at quarterback. And he did that time right there, first time tonight that we've seen that.
So Braves take over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 42-yard line. 6:37 to go in the first half, up 17-0. Goebel with flipping to his left, tight formation. Hunter Smith, the lone receiver, to the near side. And flips it out to Flippin, far side, has some room. Down the far side, first down and a flag.
Flag came in the backfield, and it came from the white hat all the way behind the play.
Holding against the Braves.
Yep.
So this one's going to come back, take away the first down run by Jamar Flippin. Stops the clock with exactly 6.5 minutes to go in the first half.
It's too bad. That was a great run by Jamar. Banks shooting themselves in the foot right here. I mean, even though you're up 17-0 with 6.5 minutes or so to go in the first half, these can come back and haunt you. I mean, it's a long football game. It's a 48-minute game.
So flag thrown at the 46 to mark the ball back to the 36. It'll be first down and about 16 from the 36-yard line. Need to get to about the Seaside 47-yard line for a first down.
Got Hunter Smith coming out wide to the left here.
Twins to the far side, 3 receiver set. Aaron Brown goes in motion right to left. Goebel, looked like he faked the snap, and short gain is going to get back close to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down. Actually, a good gain after the flag will get the ball to second down and 10, but an injured player for Seaside.
Yeah, a little RPO that time, and it looked like, he's just a little bit, Cooper needed a little bit more decisive that time, a little bit more intentional in what he wanted to do. He was real, jitterbug stepping around back there. It looked like he was dancing. They didn't have the homecoming game here officially, but looked like he was trying to do a little homecoming dance out there on the field because he's like, what am I going to do? Am I going to run here? Am I going to run there? But, just kind of hesitating a little bit too much, and it really bought the Seaside defense a chance to
It looks like a right knee injury for number 58 for Seaside, Luke Toyuka. .6:19 to go in the first half. Braves a 17-0 lead. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from Econofab.
Hey Brave fans, this is Chris Lyda, the voice of the Braves, here to tell you about Econofab Buildings. Econofab is a third-generation family-owned and operated pole building company located right here in Brave Country. Econofab has been in business for almost 50 years, constructing shops, garages, and barns. I had them build my 2 shops, and as a satisfied and repeat customer, I'm here to tell you that Econofab puts the fab in fabulous. Go visit them online at econofabbuildings.com.
And we're back, 6:19 to go in the first half. Luke Toyuka, lineman for Seaside, still down on the field with a left knee injury. Now is going to be helped up.
Round of applause for number 58, Luke Toyuka. Had the pleasure of watching him over the years, football, baseball, and basketball. It's a great kid. Get well soon, Luke.
Not putting any weight on that right foot.
Yeah, that's the worst part of any high school athletic competition is someone getting hurt. That's you don't want to see any injuries at all, whether it's grade or major. We just wish that young man all the best and hope he's going to get the treatment that he needs. And it'd be nice if we can get back in this game, or just get back in this season. But our hearts go out to you. And
second down and long for the Braves, and a fumble. Goebel tried to hand it off late to Flip, and I think the Braves got back on it, and that's the indication from the officials. But offensively here towards the end of the second, the later stages of the second quarter, Braves are starting to fall apart offensively.
Yeah, just not themselves. And that time again, Cooper being a little bit too indecisive. I mean, I don't know what he has being indecisive about playing with a 17-0 lead, but I don't know if he's a little bit maybe intimidated. I mean, this is a bigger line. But they played bigger lines. I mean, they played a tough, strong line against Hidden Valley and Estacada.
Goebel out of shotgun, obviously passing down, third down, and looks like about 21 or 22. And movement, big number 79. That'll help Banks a little bit, give him an extra 5 yards. Movement from number 79, Xavier Kelly.
Get us 5 yards closer. It's going to be third down.
Yeah, he's a big boy at 5'9", 245. One of the biggest guys. This is not exactly a tall O-line and D-line for Seaside, but they are beefy.
He looks a lot bigger than 245, too, I'll tell you that. Third down and about 18, I think, for the Braves. Goebel looked to throw. Pass over the top, caught by Jamar Flippin, and breaks a couple of tackles. And still up to the 45, and I think the Braves are still going to have to punt, but gets him some extra yardage for getting the kick away as he gets up past the 45, but still needed to get an extra 8 yards for the first down. Good effort on the play, though.
Yeah, great effort by Jamar Flippin, just keeping his legs going and trying to fight for all the yardage. They did give him that forward progress just across the 45-yard line, but I think the Braves are probably still going to punt right here, go for the field position. Although looks like Goebel's still out there, but Goebel can do a drop kick.
Hesselman is back in punt formation. Much cleaner punt, bobbles the snap, and it's blocked again. And this time Seaside falls on it. Much better field position down around the 20, and Seaside a great opportunity to score after the bobbled snap that time.
Yeah, just some really the last 5-10 minutes of real time for Banks Brave Nations has just been not ideal situations here. Just mistake after mistake after mistake, and we'll see if they answered the bell here. We'll see if they can answer the bell again on defense. But boy, your defense has been out there a long time.
4:14 to go, 1st and 10 Seaside from the Braves 20 following the blocked punt. Kawaso under center. Turn and gives again to Talamentes, and not much there, maybe a yard, 2nd down and 9.
They're doing a great job, the Banks defensive line, of not allowing Talamontes to get into the second level of the defense. Luke Bigby in on the tackle that time for the Braves. Big old freshman for Banks.
Bigsby logging a longtime member of the Banks community. 2nd down and 9 from the 19. Kawaso again under center. Again, will hand it off to Talamentes. Maybe 2 yards that time, but still good job on run defense for the Braves. 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, Ashton Crossan getting in that time to wrap up the big old Talamontes that time and not letting him get much. He was good sophomore Ashton Crossan getting in there from his linebacker spot.
3rd down and 7. Ball at the 17-yard line.
3rd down and 7, under 3 minutes. 17-0 Braves lead just before halftime. Kawaso now out of shotgun on 3rd down and about 7. 4 receivers to the top side, 5 with 1 to the near side, and Lyda, nice job that time to tight coverage, but able to back off in time as the ball got there. Was
4th down.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Well, Trevor, so far tonight, the Banks secondary has really done an exceptional job of covering the pass back there, just getting in the right position at the right times to not let the receiver get to the ball and doing it all the right way. Doing it with their legs, getting there.
4th and 7, incompletion stops the clock, 2:40 left in the first half, and we might, well, first we're going to see a Seaside timeout, and then we might see Caleb Bartel come on the field to attempt a field goal, which I think would be about a 37-yarder. Ball is at the 17, add the 10 for the end zone.
And he did kick a 37-yard field goal last week at Milwaukee.
We'll take a 30-second break and come back after this for Main Street Pizza.
Visit Main Street Pizza in Banks, located next to Jim's Market, for the best pizza in Washington County. From loaded hot baked subs to a Main Street special pizza piled high, we will satisfy your pizza cravings. We've been serving and supporting the Banks community since 1986. Open daily at 11 a.m. Call ahead now to place your order at 503-324-5858 or follow us on Facebook to see our daily lunch specials. Mention this radio ad and receive $2 off any Main Street pizza.
And we're back, 4th down and 7 for Seaside from deep in Braves territory at the Banks 17 following the botched snap and blocked punt by the Gulls. Caleb Bartel and Wyatt Houseman, normally two of the best kickers in the state. Caleb Bartel not on the field. Seaside appears to go for it on 4th and 7 from the 17. Kawaso fake the handoff, rolls left, throws, and underthrown. Should be incomplete or caught out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say he caught it. And is it a touchdown?
They're going to mark the ball right at the 1 or 2 yard line.
So Croshour makes the catch, and Seaside 1st and goal at about the 2.
Ball at about the 2-yard line, 1st and goal.
Seaside looking to put some points on the board here.
Fumble, and the Seaside got back on it. Talamentes fell on it back around the 10.
Well, it is getting cold. It's in the mid to low 50s out here in Banks in the Far West Metro or the Portland Metro area. And when it gets cold like this, that ball gets hard like a rock. And it's possible it could be a little bit wet. We have had rain this week, but not any today at all. So, but that ball is cold. It can get hard like a rock, and it can be hard to handle.
2nd down and 10, tie formation for Seaside. White to the near side, the lone receiver. Moving from left to right, Tanner Kroschauer. And probably a grounding for Seaside. Ball was thrown short of the intended receiver in the right front corner of the end zone. Grounding is the call, and now Seaside having issues. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, you're right, Trevor. Kawasa was he was kind of going to the right side, kind of looking, just couldn't find anybody, and it looked like he was going to go down on what would be a coverage sack, and he just tried to get rid of the football, but no one really in the area right there, and official saw that.
Well, they're gonna take away the grounding call, and I guess illegal receiver.
And eligible man downfield.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty assessed against.
So if you're Seaside, 5 yards is a lot better than 10 yards and losing the down.
13-yard line.
2nd down and goal from the 13.
Another big stand here, another big call here for the Banks defense, who seems like they've been on the field this entire second quarter.
Kawaso rolls right and slips down all the way back at the 30.
Kelly got him. It's at Kelly Field grass. It's been a little bit, cold, wet, a little bit maybe moist. We'll call it moist on here. It's mostly dry, but it's maybe a little bit moist and cold. And that time, an assist to the 12th man here at Banks High School, Kelly Field.
So it's been a crazy possession for Seaside, getting the ball back on a blocked punt from the Braves 20. An excellent opportunity to score as a 1st and goal from the 2. Fumbles the snap, goes back to about the 8. 5-yard penalty for illegal receiver back to the 13. And then a bad snap, and Kawaso, the quarterback, slips down all the way back at the 29, putting Seaside in a 3rd and goal all the way back near the 30-yard line.
3rd and 27.
and a whistle from the flag.
Too much
delay
time.
Of game, Seaside. So I heard about some crazy stuff in the Astoria game. We were unable to make it due to travel issues. Banks had a similar situation in the first half at Astoria with penalties, and now Seaside, after having 1st and goal at the 2, is going to be all the way back, needing to get in the end zone from just a 5-yard penalty, so not quite as bad as we thought, but still 33 yards to pick up the touchdown in 2 plays, or they turn the ball back to the Braves. But I think now with 40 seconds left, I think Seaside's probably just going to try to run out the clock.
3rd and goal from the 33. Not unheard of, actually.
Kawaso, quick drop, and pass is tipped. Nice job by the Braves. Aaron Brown, number 15, I believe, the man in coverage. Great job by Aaron that time to prevent the receiver from making the catch.
Great job by one of the Banks defensive linemen to get a paw up there and just kind of tomahawk it just a little bit, because you could tell the ball was tipped as it kind of went up and over. It still wasn't enough to bat it down, but it was enough to kind of change its course a little bit, make it wobble.
So coming up at halftime in about 35 seconds, we'll send things over to Jonathan to take over with a look at the Wanna Credit Union scoreboard, plus some other features he has to talk about. Kawaso, last-ditch opportunity to try to put points on the board before halftime. Braves are coming on a blitz and just gets away. It's intercepted, and that'll do it for the first half. Christian Lyda, I believe, with the interception at about the 30-yard line, and Banks will take over following the turnover with 25 and a half seconds left, just for probably one quick knee of the football before we head to the half.
Well, and if you're a Banks Braves player right now, that is the best scenario right there, because you get a big boost of momentum to go into the halftime locker room, and you're going to get the ball likely to start the second half as you deferred to the second half.
So they'll mark it at the 32. And Goebel's going to throw. Still, now scrambles and has some time. Is just going to eat up. Well, still have time for another play, but clock will continue to move as Goebel went down on a rushing play, got maybe about a yard. I think that just
yeah, I think they're just going to be content, and they're just going to let this run down as the Banks Braves sideline is heading down to the locker room.
That'll do it for the first half. Number 6, Banks 17, Seaside nothing. We'll take a 2-minute break, and when we come back, it will be the Jonathan Lee show for halftime, as he will talk about other scores from around the state and some other things going on in high school football. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Northside Rock Products in North Plains is where you can get gravel products directly from the quarry. They service contractors as well as homeowners. They can get rock straight from the quarry that's essential for paths, driveways, under concrete slabs and roads, as it packs and condenses well. Northside Rock Products offers a variety of quality crushed rock and fill material, as well as boulders and specialty rock. They offer trucks for hire for contractor work. Northside Rock Products can bring their mobile crusher to your jobs for on-site crushing and screening. Delivery is available. Get all you need at low winter rates. Northside Rock Products LLC on Northwest Dixie Mountain Road in North Plains. NorthsideRockProductsLLC.com.
North Plains Chamber of Commerce invites you to check out Oregon Coffee Roaster. Based in the Portland foothills, this wholesale roaster has decades of experience offering quality Arabica coffee and loose leaf tea to businesses. Whether you're a business customer interested in a bulk order of 10 pounds or more, or a residential customer interested in smaller quantities, contact them today for your coffee needs. Call 503-647-5102 or visit their website, OregonCoffee.com. Shannon Jennings of North Plains is your local independent insurance agent. Are you overpaying for insurance? She can partner with a vast range of insurance companies to provide you with the most competitive products and services. Whether it's your home, auto, commercial, or any other type of insurance, we take the time to learn about you, your family, and your business to find the best coverage to protect your unique needs. For quality insurance coverage at affordable prices, call 503-444-0566 or email Shannon at shannonjenningsinsurance.com.
Specialty Screen Printing in Yamhill offers your business the creativity and expertise to print your logo on a variety of items. Owners Ken and Linda Johnson have 40 years of experience on industrial parts and every type of material, including ceramic tile. Their fast service can have your project done in less than a week. Visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com, to see for yourself how they can help you boost your company's marketing and industrial screen printing needs. Call 971-998-9274 or visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com.
And we're up halftime. Banks a 17-0 lead over Seaside at the break. We'll go ahead and send it over to Jonathan Smith for the halftime show.
Oh, thank you very much, Trevor. This is Jonathan Lee here with the halftime scores. Of course, some key 4A games that we are watching tonight and trying to run down some scores. Haven't seen the scores. Our sources. People need to call in and get those scores. But we got Marshfield is taking on Tillamook tonight. Of course, Tillamook was supposed to play Valley Catholic, and Marshfield actually had another game as well. Both those teams had games canceled because of the other teams had to forfeit. So that game was actually made, I believe it was actually over the weekend, last weekend. That game was made really early on, and Marshfield playing at Tillamook, but we have not gotten a score for that game. Also, Cascade, number 1 Cascade, playing at Newport. And another District 1 game, Milwaukee is playing at Astoria. And Mazama, big game down in the southern region. Mazama playing at Hidden Valley. That's a game that could have some implications coming to quarterfinal time for the Banks Braves. As I'm saying that with Hidden Valley being number 11 on the OSAA ranking right now and Banks number 6, that could be an opponent that Banks could possibly play in the quarterfinals. Of course, this time hosting Hidden Valley, so Hidden Valley having to make that trek instead of Banks going to Grants Pass. Now, some other games that went on Thursday night football in the 4A ranks. Estacado, as we told you about, knocked off Malala 25-14. Marist had no problems with my alma mater, Cottage Grove, winning 56-16 over the Lions. And North Eugene beat Sweet Home 42-14. College football going on this Friday night. We've got a game to talk about. The Oregon Ducks, they are back home after the bye week at Autzen Stadium down in Eugene. But right now, it's the Cal Golden Bears. Justin Wilcox and his clan looking to spoil the party in Eugene. Cal leading very early, 7-3 over the Oregon Ducks, who of course are without their starting running back C.J. Verdell, who's out for the year. So, but they've still got Travis Dye as well and a whole stable of running backs there. Our score here at halftime with it's youth night out here at Kelly Field, so they are honoring some of the young Banks Braves stars of tomorrow down on the field. They're all lined up center of the field with their teams and their coaches and getting to be announced over the public address here. Chris Lyda doing the awesome job over the PA and giving them some time in the spotlight. Great to see. But our score here at halftime, the Banks Braves leading the Seaside Seagulls 17-0. So far, the Seagulls, they might be, they're actually having a hard time flying over Kelly Field, and they haven't dropped anything out of the sky so far tonight, and we hope that continues. We'll be back with much more halftime and talk about the first half. Trevor will rejoin me. We'll talk about the first half. Coming up after this, you're listening to Banks Braves football on Westside Mobile Media.
Specialty Screen Printing in Yamhill offers your business the creativity and expertise to print your logo on a variety of items. Owners Ken and Linda Johnson have 40 years of experience on industrial parts and every type of material, including ceramic tile. Their fast service can have your project done in less than a week. Visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com, to see for yourself how they can help you boost your company's marketing and industrial screen printing needs. Call 971-998-9274 or visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com.
Scoggins Creek Coffee is proud to offer delicious hot drinks and delectable breakfast items too. Visit their 2 locations in Gaston and Yamhill Carlton. Open 7 days a week, Mondays through Saturdays until 5 and Sundays until 3. Make sure to ask about their weekly specials and visit their Facebook page. Scoggins Creek Coffee, 503-985-3483.
North Plains Chamber of Commerce invites you to Tenante's Pizza and Subs. Try one of the many specialty pizzas like the Mama Supremo or a delicious torpedo sub sandwich. Mention Westside Greatest Hits and save 10% off your order. Tenante's Pizza and Subs at the corner of Glencoe and Pacific in North Plains. Open 11 to 8:30 Monday through Saturday and Sunday 3 to 8 for carry-out and delivery. Visit the website, Tenante'sPizzaAndSubs.com, or call 503-647-5761.
The Army National Guard plays a vital role in your community. We're on the front lines supporting essential personnel, first responders, law enforcement, and medical professionals, delivering food, supplies, and medicine, keeping communities safe, making a difference. During emergencies, we're always ready, always there. Learn more about part-time service in the Army National Guard at nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Oregon Army National Guard, aired by the Oregon Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And we're back halftime, 7 minutes to go before teams come out on the field. So technically 10 minutes left before we start the third quarter. Braves a 17-0 lead for the 6th ranked team officially in all of 4A football, which will determine playoffs at the end of the season. Top 3 from the 4A District 1 or Kawapa League will advance to the 16-team state playoff in early November.
And we know one of these two teams playing here tonight in Banks will definitely be one of those 3 teams. Seaside, they talked about before this season, that was one of their goals. Of course, Astoria was one of their goals as well, but Seaside really feeling they had a shot to be one of those 3 teams from the District 1 to make the postseason. In fact, they actually, it's been an interesting time. Last year, of course, having no fall football, and then they came back and finally got to play in the spring, but it was only like 6 games or 5 games plus that contingency week. What they call it? Basically, it was the week that was supposed to be like a bowl game week, but it ended up being like a little playoff week. But so 6 games in there. So yeah, it was. They were supposed to be, that. So they basically got to play 6 games in the spring, and it's just, it's just been great to see high school football back on Friday nights. And Coach Tanaka, he told his team, or Coach Tanaka told his team here at Seaside before the season that he was watching NFL Network. Obviously, it was, and this was back in August when he talked about it, and he said it was a couple weeks earlier. They were interviewing Jerry Jones, of course, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and it was right there in Oxnard, California, and he remembered telling his team that, so if Jerry Jones, billionaire owner, he could be anywhere he wants to be in August, but he chose to fly all the way over to Oxnard, California to be there at a preseason game. And he said, that's passion. That's the kind of passion we need to have, he told his team. And that's what Seaside is trying to build on this season, is they want to show that Seaside has something more. And they have pretty much this season coming up to this point. They've really been grounded to a halt. This is a Banks team that's been ready to play. The Seaside team is very proud, and I expect to see a Seaside team that's going to come out a little bit more purposed in the second half. Probably playing, not playing with mistakes. I think that's the biggest thing that's hurting them, and they just need to hold on the football. But I think they will. To be a fly on the wall in that locker room for Seaside right now, to hear what Coach Tanaka is telling his team right now. And I'm sure he's going to get them charged up and get them ready for the second half. So it should be interesting to see if they bring that passion into the second half. Or will Banks, the other side of the coin, they're talking about how can we put these guys away right now? How can we – I guarantee you that Coach Linehan is talking about that right now, that Seaside is going to come up, and they're going to try and charge back. And they're saying we got to not let them charge back, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond as well and see if they can finish the job.
Thanks. A 17-0 lead at halftime. Talk a little bit about how we got to that score, Jonathan. Braves a 2-0 lead on Seaside's opening possession as the Braves won the toss and deferred. So Seaside got the ball first and picked up a couple of first downs, and were moving the ball pretty good. And then as Braves held on 4th down, a bad snap on a punt that went over the punter's head. Braves were able to tackle him in the end zone for the safety for the first 2 points of the game. Braves would score on their next possession on a 16-yard touchdown pass from Cooper Goebel to Charlie White to make the score 9-0, which is how we would finish the first quarter. Teams switched sides, and Banks got a 17-yard touchdown run on kind of a trick play from Cooper Goebel, as it appeared the ball was rolled to him on what looked like a bad snap, and he was able to scoot around the right side and scamper into the right front corner of the end zone for a 15-0 lead. And then Braves usually don't go for 2. I don't think this was intended, but Christian Lyda, the holder on the snap, the third-string quarterback, at least up until tonight, found Jack Lyda, I believe his cousin, in the back of the end zone for the two-point conversion to put the Braves up 17-0 here at halftime. Braves had a little bit of issues in probably the late stages, probably from the midway point on of the second half, offensively, and a couple of punts that were blocked. Seaside had an excellent opportunity to score from the Braves 20, got all the way down to the 2, and then penalties, bad snaps that turned into fumbles and sacks. Seaside wound up finishing that drive up with an interception, and then the Braves would take a knee to end the first half after the turnover from Christian Lyda.
Well, Trevor, thank you. Taking a look back to Week 6, looking at some of the highlights last week in 4A football, as we're trying to get some scores from this week, but we'll look back and see some of the big names. LeGrand ran away from Nissa 56-16 as Brody McMillan rushed for 161 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Braden Carson caught 2 scoring passes from Logan Williams. Mazama's defense dominated North Valley in a 49-0 romp last week. Get this, Trevor. Mazama held the Knights to 1 total yard. 1 total yard of offense, collecting 3 interceptions and 9 tackles for loss. Aiden Kent scored on a punt return for the Vikings as well. Of course, Cooper Goebel, we know about this. He completed 11 of 13 passes for 264 yards and 5 touchdowns in that spanking 56-22 of Amity last week. Marshfield, they're ranked number 1 in the OSAA Today 4A coaches poll. They should be number 1 in the OSAA poll. Don't get me started. They rolled to a 43-16 win over Rainier, and Rainier number 1 in 3A. Dom Montiel, he recently received an offer from Coach Bruce Barnum to play Barney ball at Portland State. Dom completed 9 of 10 passes for 166 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Pirates. Oh yeah, Barney would love to see that on the park blocks next year. Jacob Hage, Blake Lewis, and Lance Von Hoos each ran for more than 100 yards as Cascade defeated Marist last week 38-33. Lucas Tusky had 3 touchdown runs for the Spartans. Estacada down Madras 42-14 last week behind Jake Behrman's 3 touchdown runs. And Seaside, as we told you about, they got a 37-yard field goal from Caleb Bartell in the fourth quarter to overtake Milwaukee 16-14. Milwaukee this week is they took turns. They're playing over at Astoria tonight, and Seaside is here. And bring you back to the present, they trail the Banks Braves 17-0 as both teams came back out on the field. And Trevor, I believe you showed me a baseball score for any baseball fans out there.
Yeah, Houston with a 1-0 lead in the third inning over Boston in the American League Championship Series. Portland also playing tonight, their final game, I believe, of preseason action at Golden State, trailing 59-57 in the third quarter, trying to, now 63-57, trying to pull up an update on that Oregon-Cal game. One other game we were able to pull, Cal still with a 7-3 lead over Oregon early in the second quarter. And one other prep score I was able to pull up from Twitter while Jonathan was talking. Number 1 Rainier 3A 16, number 5 Warrenton 12, that game in the third quarter. So sounds like a pretty good game brewing in the top 5 of 3A high school football as both teams come out onto the field with about a minute and change left before Braves receive for the third quarter.
And, of course, Amity, who was here last week, they are back home and playing another 4A school, the Philomath Warriors. Of course, Philomath, a 4A school, but playing 3A in football this year. Also going to be, we are waiting to hear from the OSAA. They just had a meeting earlier this week. Monday was the latest meeting with, they heard more reactions and people chiming in on the 2 proposals for redistricting. They have a 6 classification model and a 5 classification model. The board has met this week to go over, compare notes, compare what they've heard. And they've I listened to the OSAA Today podcast, which you can get wherever you get your podcasts. My pal Chad Doing talked with Peter Weber of the OSAA. It's about a 6-minute podcast. It was mainly just to talk about that update and present the timeline for that. They're hoping to make a decision on the new model come December. They're hoping to have a decision to see who will be where for starting with the 2022-23 season. And that one has Banks in a couple of different models. One of them has Banks in the same league as Sayo. We've talked about that, Trevor.
And we're back ready to start the third quarter. Braves will receive for the start of the second half. Jamar Flippin and Aaron Brown back at about the 15-yard line. And kick is going to be taken on the hop by Aaron Brown. Gets to the far side and up past the 35 to about the 37. Good, decent return for the Braves to start the third quarter up to the 37-yard line, where they'll start for the second half.
Great field position for the Banks Braves to start this third quarter. And going to be a really kind of a crucial drive here for the Braves. Will it be, can they kind of go down? And if you'd like to see, if you're a Braves fan, you'd like to see them go down and put this in the back of the end zone and really put the pressure on the Seaside Seagulls here.
4 receivers set. Hunter Smith, the lone receiver to the near side. Flipping the lone back to the right of Goebel. Straight drop, looks to throw, pass is caught, and a flag as Flippin makes the catch up near midfield. But again, kind of a weird play. The indication is against the Braves. Flag was thrown while the pass was in the air, but I think it's probably going to come back due to a hold. Braves are moving back. Looks like offensive pass interference.
Yeah,
White Hat gave the two hands pushing out in front of him, which I believe is the call for pass interference, and Braves moving backwards, so obviously offensive. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Doing some interesting marking off the ball is the umpire. He had picked up the ball, kind of carrying it around. It looked like he was maybe dancing with the ball. And here we go. He was methodically tracing his steps, and now they're going to finally march off the yards for the penalty. I was trying to figure out what in the world is he doing out there.
So 15-yard penalty on the pass interference will bring up first down and 25 from the 24-yard line.
Looked like the umpire was sleepwalking with the ball.
Definitely do not want to give Seaside any momentum. They've had a hard time moving the football in the first half, despite being given a couple of golden opportunities off of special teams and turnovers. Now they're mark the ball back at the 22 where it should be.
It's like Seaside back in a 3-4 kind of a defense.
Low snap, Goebel to throw. Now we'll step up and keep it and get a big chunk of yards and slide down at the 30. Gets about half of it back.
And that's the thing that makes Goebel so much of a dangerous weapon for the Banks Braves, is not only can he drop back and throw the ball and have a cannon of an arm, but he can also he can run, he can move, and he can make some things happen with his legs. He has done, as we were talking about at halftime. He's got a touchdown rushing and a touchdown throwing tonight.
So second down and 18 from the 29-yard line. So Goebel is going to be spun down and thrown down hard inside the 20. And a big play for the Seaside defense puts the Braves in a huge 3rd and long.
Yeah, that was almost a horse collar one that was close to got the top of the jersey there. It wasn't a horse collar, but I mean it was like he got in there so fast and just kind of almost took his shoulder off.
So 3rd down and 29 from the 18. Need to get to the 47 for a first down. Definitely not the way the Braves wanted to come out of the locker room at halftime.
No, they are going the wrong way for sure.
Goebel. And they're going to try the little trickery. Aaron Brown down the far side and is going to get up to the 20, and that's about it after all that. And it's going to be a punt from Wyatt Hesselman, and that's been an adventure tonight, to say the least.
Yeah, the last 2 times they tried to punt the ball, Seaside has been in the backfield. I mean, I talked about in the pregame, Lawson Talamantes would look to be in Banks' backfield as a linebacker, but they've been out there, really haven't done it on normal play, but it's been on the punt returns. They've been in the backfield. Wyatt Hesselman might not want to watch the movie Birds.
Well, Wyatt Hesselman isn't even on the field. Braves appear to be going for it on 4th and 29 from their own 22, and now they're going to call a timeout.
I think they were trying to.
Seaside.
I think they were trying to draw him off sides.
Timeout called by Seaside.
But now it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do, if they're going to still leave with the same play or punt the football. I mean, they might have thought maybe they're trying to do something because they thought they could gain more yards going for it than, getting another punt, because as we talked about, that same thing, the last 2 punts, Seaside has gotten right through the line and has been right there in the backfield, made no chance for Wyatt to even have the ball or to even punt the ball.
17-0 Braves, and a 4th and 29. Looks like they get up to the 22 after that last run by the Braves, so it'll be 4th down and 25.
Off that attempted reverse was
Still
Aaron
no
Brown.
Wyatt Hesselman did not come out on the field.
Where he's going to take
Interesting
their chances
call.
Here. Goebel's going to drop kick it.
And it's going to go out of bounds around the 42-yard line for Seaside. Well, guess you're putting a lot of trust in your defense, especially the way the Braves played on that last drive from Seaside, where they failed to score from the Braves' 20-yard line. And Seaside will take over 1st and 10 from the Braves' 40.
1st and 10 for Seaside, the 40-yard line of the Braves.
I'm not even seeing Wyatt Hesselman on the field.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't even see him on the sidelines.
Not good. And Seaside, a big gain up the middle, and Talamentes is finally brought down inside the 15.
Number 23, Talamentes, brought down by number 1, Christian Lida, after a big gain.
Okay, there he is. Wyatt is on the sidelines.
Oh, that's good news, but still not sure why the Braves would not have him on the field on 4th and 29 unless there's some kind of an injury. 1st and 10 for Seaside at about the 13. Give to Talamentes. Maybe gets down to about the 10 as he fights his way through a scrum. It'll be 2nd down for Seaside.
Brought down by number 23, Devon Green, and number 63, Luke Bigsby. Gain of 3 on the play.
Yeah, Seaside right now, they know that the Braves are just back on their heels right now. They're just trying to do anything they can to keep pushing right now and just keep pushing them until they push their way into the end zone.
2nd down and 10, or 2nd down and 7 from the 10. And Crosshauer, you talked about that earlier, using the tight end in at quarterback, kind of a wildcat situation. And
the wild goal.
Lined up at quarterback. Kept it for a gain of about 2. It'll be 3rd down and about 5.
3rd down and 5.
Not sure. I think right there at that time they were trying to maybe use Kraushar as kind of the Beavers like to do with Jack Coletto with the jackhammer package and trying to just run with the quarterback into the end zone.
Tight formation, Langmo the lone receiver, and the give to Talamentes off the left side. I think he's actually going to lose a yard. It'll be 4th down. And
great pursuit that time by the Banks tribe in there. Jack Lyda and among others in there on the stop.
Loss of about 1.5 yards on the play. It'll bring up 4th down and 6 and a big decision for Seaside. Down 3 scores. I'm sure they'll try to go for it, but they do have a capable kicker in Caleb Bartel.
Yeah, you've got a great field goal kicker, but at this point, 3 points isn't going to do anything when you're down 3 scores.
And fakes the handoff, still rolling. Kawaso looks, throws back in the end zone, too high. Had a man wide open, intended, I believe, for Brady Jackson. I was thinking Talamentes, but go ahead.
Yeah, he just leaped out the back of the end zone. So, sorry there, I couldn't. His number, he leaped past like out of frame over here, and it couldn't out of my view, so I couldn't see it. But not only did he leap, far and it was out of his hands, but if he would have brought that ball in, I was watching his feet. I don't think he would have gotten his feet in bounce either.
So another golden opportunity for Seaside on a pass thrown too high, and now Goebel is going to be tackled near the goal line, possibly a safety for Seaside.
No, he did just barely keep inside, but they got no margin for error right now. In fact, I would just Braves doesn't really do an I formation, but I think I'd just give the ball to Jamar Flippin and let him run at this point. Don't you think? I would think it's Flippin territory.
Goebel out of his own end zone with Flippin to his right. 4-5 receivers. Goebel will throw and has a man. Jack Lyda. It's going to be a foot race to the end zone, and he is just tripped up at midfield. And when the Braves need a big play to get momentum back, it's Cooper Goebel, Jack Lyda for 50 yards to midfield, just as Seaside had the Braves pinned deep, and the Braves go to the air from their own goal line.
I don't know who the landscaper of Kelly Field is, but it's time to fire him because we have seen way too many guys, Banks and even Seaside as well, get tripped up by this carpet, this grass here at Kelly Field. So landscaper, whoever you are, I'm sorry, you're out.
And I think Cooper and Jack could have connected for a 100-yard touchdown pass if Jack was able to keep his feet. And Charlie White down the far side breaks a couple tackles, gets out of bounds near the 30.
Yeah, another great pitch and catch that time. Just finally, Banks is finally seeing some life right here and doing it through the air. I mean, I was trying to lobby for Jamar Flippin to get some carries right there, but hey, if it's working, then go ahead. But you know what? I think maybe Seaside expecting that as well. And so they again. The coaches upstairs seeing a weakness, and as they have all night, Banks is trying to exploit it.
So 67 yards on 2 pass plays from Cooper Goebel, and now he's going to keep it up the middle and make sure you hold on to the football. Gets up to about the 30, gain of about 2 or 3 yards, and a late flag against Seaside.
Yeah, that was, I think, going to be a little unsportsmanlike on number 85, Connor Langmo. He kind of I think he held on to Goebel's jersey a little bit too long.
Flag on the play stops the clock with 4:56 left.
Personal foul against Seaside. I think that's who they're calling it on is Langmo, who was holding on. He kind of held on to his jersey a little bit long, but Cooper was a great sport. He got up and slapped him on the helmet.
So we don't really do a play of the game, but if we had to make a decision now, I would probably say that 50-yard pass play from Cooper to Jack Lyda, because if Seaside was able to get the ball back near the Braves goal line and score, it'd be a much different ball game right now, and Seaside would have all the momentum down just 2 scores. Goebel with Flippin. Trips split out wide to the near side with Jack Lyda to the top. Goebel rolls left, looks to throw, now will keep it and gets a little bit of room to the near side, and should have been another late flag there by number 7. A little bit of talking that time between Goebel and Cooper Rojan. Second down and 4, almost 5 from the 13.
Got Twins out to the left.
Brown and Hunter Smith. Charlie White and Jack Lyda in tight, and whistle and a flag on the far side, false start against the Braves.
Timeout called to the Braves. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, false start.
Call coming in from the headlinesman that time.
So after the flag, it'll bring up second down and 12 from the, looks like the 18. 4.5 minutes left, third quarter. Goebel with Flippin to the left. And gives it to Jamar off the far side. And good gain, but it's going to be tackled a couple of yards short of the first down. It'll be third down and about 2.
Another good hard run by Jamar Flippin, and a little stiff arm there at the end of the play to spring him for a couple more yards as he was inching towards that goal line. Jamar can snip it.
Third down and 3 for the Braves, ball the 8-yard line.
Third and 3 from the 8, 4:18 to go. Lone receiver to the near side, Hunter Smith. Ball to the far side. Goebel throws over the top, too far, intended for Chuck White. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
He just led him a little bit more to his left, and going to be decision time here. Will we see? Will they go for it on fourth down? Looks like they are going to go for it instead of going with a field goal with Wyatt Hesselman. So maybe something is wrong with Wyatt. He is down there on the sideline, and he has his uniform on, but this is normally a situation where you would go with a field goal with Wyatt Hesselman. Maybe he, I don't know, don't really want to speculate, but
I don't see him now either. Goebel, high snap, able to bring it down, throws. Touchdown, Charlie White coming across to the left corner of the end zone. Charlie White's second touchdown catch of the night puts the Braves up 23-0 with 4:09 left.
That was about as easy as it comes. Charlie White was wide open, and Cooper Goebel, just like he always does, threading the needle right there and puts it right where Charlie White can get it. Another touchdown, and that finally might be the dagger here as the Braves go up by 4 scores here with 4:09 to go in the third quarter.
White's not on the field.
And Hesselman is out to attempt the extra point.
Really? Wow.
The House's kick is good. With that, Braves extend their lead out to 24.
Well, 24-0 Braves, 4:09 to go in the third quarter. It's been a strange couple of drives for Banks here in the second half, going for it on fourth and almost 30 yards from deep in Seaside territory. But somehow able to avoid disaster and keep Seaside off the board and come down and score on the next possession. 24-0 Banks, 4:09 left. We'll keep things here. $11 straight extra points at least for Wyatt Hesselman going back to last week. The kick from Wyatt is going to be taken by number 7, gets around the near side and tackled about the 31, 32-yard line.
That's
Cooper Rogan. Go ahead.
I was just saying that was Rogian on the return.
Flag on the play.
Number 7, Cooper Rogan for Seaside was the ball carrier.
Personal foul against Banks. So that's going to give Seaside 15 more yards.
45.
A little more field position.
Oregon has now scored a touchdown to go up 10-7 over Cal with about 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Penalty yards assessed against the Braves. Seaside has a
First and 10 Seaside from their own 45. Seaside has had great field position all night, either on punts, blocked punts, or turnovers, or penalties, and have put no points on the board, luckily for the Braves, and Seaside has a player down after a loss of 2 on the give.
Got an update from Scappoose and Canby. Scappoose tries a trick play on 4th down from the Canby 10-yard line, but the ball was broken up. It broke up the pass. Canby takes over. They lead 27-7 with 3 minutes to go in the third.
Second down and 11 from the Seaside 44. 3:20 to go in the third quarter.
Scappoose, a team that could be in Banks Conference next year.
And they give off the far side. A big gain for
Kraushar.
All the way up close to a first down. I think he's going to be about a half a yard short. Well, they're going to give him the first. One official, the white hat, indicated first down, and it's going to be about a yard short.
He's 2 yards short officially where the head linesman is standing from the line to gain. Need to get to the 45.
And fumble, and the Braves have it. Braden Ball with the fumble recovery, 2:25 left, and the Braves get the ball back again. Braves have taken all the momentum back since Seaside had them pinned deep all the way back near their own goal line, and next play Braves went 50 yards to Jack Lyda.
Well, we talk about big plays, and there's been a couple of big plays here in this third quarter. If you want to pick the 55-yard pass to get him out of dodge from the shadows of their own goal post, or the fumble recovery by Braden Ball right there to really change fortunes. Now the Braves really need to pounce right now.
Goebel, the give to Flip, and has some room. A big hole spun down, though, at the 45. Still a gain of 6 on first down, but a lot more there initially for Jamar. Looked like he had an opportunity to at least pick up a first down on that carry.
Yeah, and he looked like he might have been like horse-collared right there. I mean, that tackle right there, that grab looked like that was awfully high to the neck.
Second down and 4 from the 45 of Seaside. Dog starting to roll in.
Yeah, exactly.
Goebel able to bring the snap down after a high snap, and pass is thrown over the head of Jack Lyda.
Just too far, and that Goebel kind of putting a little bit too much mustard on that one again as well, and just Lyda just couldn't catch up to that one right that time. He had two men that were around him on the play, but Lyda looked like he had a step, maybe a step and a half ahead of them. But just couldn't quite catch up to that one.
3rd down and 4 as we have some light fog start to roll across the field and slowly start to clear up a little bit, but still
working
pretty
its way
visible.
in from Seaside.
Well, it's fitting considering we had some speaker issues that made it sound as if there was a foghorn or a ship rolling in from Seaside earlier. Goebel on 3rd down and about 4, all the way back to the 45. Pass is thrown out of bounds, intended for Jack Lyda. Nice sportsmanship that time from number 4 for Seaside, Everett Saboni.
Everest.
Oh, that's right. So 4th and 4 for the Braves from their own 45, or from the Seaside 45. Need to get to the 41 for the first down. Braves will go. Tight formation. Whistles and timeout Seaside. 1:34 left in the 3rd quarter. Number 6 Banks 24. Seaside nothing. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from Jason Bond Remodeling.
Thinking about updating your kitchen or bath? James Bond Remodeling has over 20 years experience fabricating and installing stone countertops and can upgrade your home with the countertops of your dreams without the dreamy price tag. They pride themselves on quality and customer satisfaction. They offer stone countertop fabrication and installation and cabinet installation services. They'll do their best to beat any bid by 10%. Based locally in Washington County, they'll do jobs in most Portland metro locations. Call 503-753-9993 or email jasonbondremodeling@gmail.com. Jason Bond Remodeling, Oregon CCV number 227733.
And we're back, 1:34 left. Braves 24, Seaside nothing following the timeout from the Gulls. 4th and 4 for the Braves from the Seaside 45.
Braves have a 4th and 4, ball to 45.
Got an update from Astoria. They are in the 3rd quarter. Milwaukee leading Astoria 21-14.
Still some visibility issues with fog, and the Braves got movement from Seaside to pick up the first down. Looked like number 44 slipped as he was trying to keep his balance on the play before the Braves could snap the football. Dominic Berg. And it's going to give the Braves a first down to the Seaside 40. The fog is really, we weren't expected to see this, I don't think, until after 11 o'clock, and almost getting to the point where you can't see the Seaside side of the field. 3 receiver set. Goebel fakes the snap, will keep it and get, breaks a couple of tackles, gets back across towards the center of the field. Ball will be marked, though, on the left hash mark. Gets about 7 yards inside the 35.
Yeah, Cooper that time, just a great run right time and running by a couple of defenders. He looked like a pinball, in the pinball machine. He just kind of bounced off one, goes this way, boom, bounce off the other, and let's just go this way.
Gain of about 7, 2nd down and 3 as we officially wind down under a minute for the 3rd quarter.
6:06 left to go in the 3rd in Astoria. Milwaukee leading 21-14.
Goebel, high snap, brings it down with one hand. Quick throw out to Charlie White. Has the first down easily, but another flag.
Goal pass complete to number 32, Charlie White.
Milwaukee, of course, will be right here at Kelly Field next Friday night.
Penalty looks like it will be against the Braves, holding. Stops the clock, 36.5 seconds to go in the third quarter. Braves will have
very good crowd here tonight on Youth Sports Night at Kelly Field. It is absolutely packed, like shoulder to shoulder.
flag thrown just a yard shy of the first down marker, so it'll be second down and 11. Three receivers to the near side. Give to Flippin up the middle. Has a hole and may have a touchdown. Near side and out runs the defender. Touchdown, and the Braves are now up 31-0 with 10 seconds to go in the third quarter. Jamar Flippin with a 41-yard touchdown run to put the Braves up now by 30 with 10 seconds to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, that right there was just, if you want to say the last touchdown was a dagger, that one right there is a dagger just by the way it was. A nice little 41-yard run, but there is an official down on the play right in the middle of the field. So they are attending to the official who just now got up.
Round of applause for our official. He's up on his feet. Tough work out there.
So 10 seconds left. We'll wait for the extra point and keep things here as we'll go to the end of the quarter break in just a few seconds. Braves with 2 second-half touchdowns, despite Seaside unable to capitalize on a goal line defensive opportunity as Cooper Goebel found Jack Lyda for a 50-yard pass play that kept the scoring drive alive. Hesselman back in for the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and it is good. Hard to see through that fog, but 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Banks now up 4 touchdowns and a field goal, 31-0. Waiting for the kickoff to Seaside to start before we start the fourth quarter.
Number 8, Wyatt Hesselman on, kick the ball away. Ball placed at the 40-yard line. Number 7, Rogan.
So no field goals tonight for Wyatt Hesselman, but a little bit of everything else. A safety, a couple of touchdown throws for Cooper Goebel, touchdown running for Cooper Goebel, 2 touchdowns for Charlie White, and a touchdown run for Jamar Flippin on that last score from 41 yards out to put the Braves up 31-0 with 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Hesselman's kick is away, and again will be taken by Rojan at about the 10. And tries to get around the outside and has a little bit of room, dives forward close to the 30 and will be shy, I think, of the 30-yard line. Time for just one play before we end the third quarter with 2 seconds left.
Seaside will have a 1st and 10 ball at the 30-yard line. 1.8 seconds remain in the third quarter.
Just a few seconds left before halftime in Eugene. Looks like the Ducks are going to go in at halftime with a 10-7 lead. And the give off the far side is going to be a pickup of about 5 or 6 up past the 35 for Seaside. And that will do it for the third quarter. After 3, it's Banks 31, Seaside nothing. We'll take a 30-second break and be back in just a moment for the final quarter.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
And we're back fourth quarter. Banks a 31-0 lead over Seaside. Kind of expected a little bit closer game than this. Seaside has definitely had their opportunities, but not really able to get much going offensively outside of Talamentes. Seaside had the ball inside the Braves 20 and went back all the way near the 40-yard line on a 4th and long and weren't able to convert on the same drive. Banks was pinned all the way back against their own goal line, and Seaside had an excellent opportunity to get the ball back and score, but allowed the Braves a 50-yard pass play from Cooper Goebel to Jack Lyda that would later turn into a pass play from Cooper Goebel to Charlie White for his second touchdown of the game. 31-0, start of the fourth quarter. Seaside with the football, 2nd down and 5 from their own 35. Seaside moving right to left, give to Kawaso, and he's going to be, initially looked like he was going to be tackled in the backfield, but maybe wet uniforms able to slip a tackle. Ooh. And, just a little slow to get up. Looks like a couple of Braves players may have accidentally hit helmets. Slow to get up off the bottom of the pile for the Braves. Number 63, Luke Bigsby. First and 10 for Seaside from about the 41. Seaside down 5 scores. Needs to score on this drive to start the fourth quarter. Braves can pretty much put it away. Whistles, and we have a timeout. Now a flag, delay of game against Seaside.
Flag on the play. Delay of game against Seaside.
First and 15, we'll mark the ball back to the 34, 36. First down and 15. Kawaso will turn and give to Talamentes, and this time he's going to be swarmed under and thrown back for a loss. Davon Vereen in on the tackle along with a host of others, and they lose about a yard. 2nd down. Actually, loss of about 2 to the 34. Kawaso and gives to Talamentes off the far side and tripped up as he gets across the 40, close to the 45. Decent gain, but it'll still be 3rd down after the penalties and the loss on the previous play.
Brady Jackson carrying the ball that time for Seaside. He's not even listed as a running back. He is a running back, yes. He's a sophomore.
So I stand corrected. Talamentes not in on the carry on that play. 3rd down and 9, and this could be the ball game for Seaside with 10 minutes left. Kawaso turns and gives to Rojan this time, and he's going to be tackled about 2 yards short of the first down marker needed to get across the 50, and he's on the Seaside side of the field
Jamar Flippin making the play that time, coming up from his strong safety position. Jamar Flippin making plays on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. He is a hard worker. He is, I'll tell you that. He is second leading tackler on this football team for the Banks Braves.
4th down and a long 2 from the 48, almost the 49, and Kawaso is going to fake the give, being chased in the backfield, and looks like underthrown, intended for
Ashton Crossan was coming. He had a heavy pursuit on Kawaso that time. I mean, he was breathing down his neck. I mean, literally so much that he was warming up Kawaso's neck. Great pursuit by Crossan there to force that bad pass.
And Ishmael Yantes slow to get up. He's going to be helped off the field by a couple of his teammates. 1st and 10 for the Braves after the underthrown pass on 4th down.
Yeah, Ishmael Yantes, haven't really gotten to talk about him yet tonight because it really haven't called his number a lot, but he's a sophomore lineman. Coaches are really high on this kid, the sophomore for Seaside. He started last year as a freshman. No, he didn't just start. He dominated last year as a freshman was the quote from the coaching staff. Bright future for Ishmael Yantes. Still got 2 more years for the Seagulls.
And that official that got knocked down earlier on towards the end of that last drive looks a little bit staggered, one of the black hat officials. And this time the give to number 23.
Davon Vereen.
Gain of about 4, 2nd down and 6. And some of the Braves fans starting to slowly make their way out in this October fog as we wind down under 9 minutes and Braves with the football up 5 scores.
One foggy night in Banks, Oregon.
Goebel still in at quarterback. Fake the give. Oh, he does give it to Vereen and bounces off a couple of blockers and finally brought down around the 20-yard line.
Davon Vereen, he just found a seam right down the middle that time, and Seaside was just they were hopping on his back like a hungry bunch of seagulls and looking just for a free ride. He gave him a tour of Banks on that play.
So it looks like Jamar Flippin's night is done as the Braves look to cruise the rest of the way. Again, the handoff to Vereen, and he'll lose about a yard. It'll be 2nd down.
Brought down by 56 that time. That's Parker Clyde. He's a sophomore, 5'10", 185-pound sophomore for the Seagulls. Once again, starting to see some of the reserves from both sides of the ball come in, except we haven't seen Ashton Crossan come in yet at quarterback for the Braves. It's still Cooper Goebel.
31-0 Braves, 7.5 minutes left. Goebel with Vereen. And gets a big push, gets a couple of yards, got the yard back he lost, and gets up to about the 18. It will be 3rd down and 8 from the 18.
Definitely feeling that October chill in the air. 49 degrees and foggy here in Banks.
Feels colder than that. Whistles and a flag. And another flag. I think both against Seaside.
48 degrees and a almost non-existent northwest wind.
Number 12 for Seaside said, Jared White said something to one of the officials, but the Braves are going back. They're just moving off the line. Yeah, personal foul against Seaside.
Big 15-yard penalty, oh yeah.
So Cooper Goebel's night is done. 3 touchdowns, 2 passing to Charlie White, 1 rushing. Ooh, he got kicked out. Jared White, number 12.
Either said something, he probably said a bad word.
So Jared White having a tough night, down 31-0 in the fourth quarter, said something to the officials and got back-to-back unsportsmanlike penalties, and that will get you kicked out of the ball game. And so that will also get the Braves first and goal.
First and goal, yep. And Christian Lyda now in at quarterback.
If the Braves keep this margin of victory, it should move them up a couple of spots in the rankings too. But again, we don't know what happened with the other teams above the Braves so far tonight.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get any word out of Marshfield and Tillamook.
And we have a timeout, Banks. No.
Just some communication between coaches and Christian Lyda.
Looked like for a moment that the Braves were going to come to the sideline. 6:50 to go in the game, 31-0, and whistles. Player comes off the field for Seaside as the Braves come to the line. Looks like first and goal from the 5, and Vereen is in for the touchdown. Davon Vereen from 5 yards out, 6:40 to go. That will now put the running clock in order for the remainder of the game with 6:35 left, 37-0, waiting for the extra point. A lot of history between these two teams, especially recently. A lot of really close games. Some of them coming even down to a field goal, and of course the 2018 state championship that started the Triple Crown for the Braves in the 2018-19 season. And Hesselman's extra point this time, that will end the streak, but a flag. Oh, really? It went through? It looked like it was blocked. Kind of foggy, so kind of hard to tell from up here, but extra point. Is good, and officials discussing the flag. Now they're going to pick it up. So no penalty on the field. 5:46 left. Not sure why they stopped. I think it may start after the kickoff. 38-0 Braves. They stopped the clock after the touchdown. 35-point rule running clock is supposed to be in effect once a team has a 35-point advantage or more.
Or as agreed upon between the two head coaches.
So apparently, well, they picked up the flag, but they're going to mark the ball for the kickoff at the 45 instead of the 40. So apparently there was a 5-yard penalty on the extra point on Seaside.
Number 8, Husselman, on to kick the football away. 5 minutes, 46 remaining in the game.
So 4 more extra points for Wyatt Hesselman tonight, 5, and a 2-point conversion. And a safety. Banks has outscored Seaside 21-0 in the second half.
Still awaiting the kickoff. This has got to be the longest time in between scores I've seen.
And the kick is away and will be taken by Seaside inside the goal line, and
I think that was a mistake. I don't know why you want to go ahead and try to bring that out of the end zone when it, for the first time tonight it goes in the end zone. I don't even want to try to bring it out. And
yeah,
then
it looked
of course,
like he tried to run out with it and then realized where he was, and they blew the whistle. I was trying to figure out why they blew the whistle, and it was to mark the ball at the 20-yard line.
It's that new rule. If the ball goes in the end zone, it's an automatic touchback, and I think the Seaside player, that's probably why the Seaside player, he probably forgot that, he can't run it back.
Seaside will have a first.
So Colasso will stay in at quarterback for the final 5 minutes or so of the
little thicker fog blowing in here in the fourth quarter.
Colasso will give it off the far side and get should be a first down for Talamentes.
Brady Jackson again on the carry for Seaside. So they have totally, it looks like Talamentes is done for the night. Kind of gone to the reserves here, both sides of the football.
Brady Jackson 25, Talamentes 23.
Well, that fog in across the field, I mean.
Timeout called by the ref.
Officials timeout.
Injured player on the Seaside bench. Injured player laying on his back on the Seaside side of the field. Started to sit up and then went back down. Can't read his number from up here. Now sitting back up again. Still has not stood up on his own. Now is up and doubled over, but five officials tonight.
As always in a varsity game in OSAA.
If you're a basketball fan, you can join me in my first year and many others as Portland Basketball Officials Association still looking for basketball officials in the OSAA. Needs officials to make sure that JV and freshman games can continue this year as Seaside gets a first down to midfield on a big carry from number 33, Kane Millhouse.
Ball carried by number 33, Kane Millhouse. First down on the play.
Knocked the ball just inside Braves territory to the 49. Braves will improve to 3-0 and be tied with Tillamook officially for District 1. Again, we don't know what's happened so far with Tillamook and Marshfield. Astoria and Milwaukee in a tight game as we kind of expected it would be. Milwaukee with a 28-22 lead in the fourth quarter. And Seaside.
13, Tyler McCleary, ball carrier, tackled by number 2, Jack Lida.
With another first down carry by number 13, Kyler McCleary. Clock under 3 minutes. Number 33, again, that's Kane Millhouse on the carry for a short gain of about 2 or 3 yards. Actually, looks like about a yard to the 37. And Kawasawa wants to throw, rolls right, throws, and it's thrown under short, incomplete at the first down marker. Pass looks like it's intended for Tanner Crawshower. Third down and 9, and 2 more plays for Seaside. Should do it, barring a first down, and then they'll give the ball back to the Braves, and they can just go to victory formation. And the give to Talamentes. He's going to get it's Brody Jackson again, 25, not 23. First down up past the 25.
Ball at the 27-yard line.
First and 10 for Seaside from the Braves 27, and Millhouse able to break a couple of tackles, but it's still going to lose yards. Might get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down. Under a minute, 2-1, two more plays for Seaside, and that will wrap it up. Braves a 38-0 lead will improve to 3-0 and 6-1 overall. Kawasau rolls right, is going to keep it and go out of bounds near the first down marker. But that will do it. Final score, Banks 38, Seaside 0, as Seaside will not call a timeout, running clock. Maybe one more play. And the give to Talamentes. It's inside the 10, but a fitting end as Seaside again finishes close to the goal line, but not able to put any points on the board tonight. Final score, number 6 Banks 38, Seaside 0. Jonathan, Oregon National Guard hero of the game tonight. Couple of options, Banks defense, possibly Charlie White, possibly Cooper Goebel. Who would you give it to?
My game ball has got to go to Cooper Goebel. He had a touchdown rushing, a touchdown passing, a couple of touchdowns passing tonight. And just been making some great decisions with the football back there as a leader. Really a great general and leading this team down the field. And down there, when they were in the shadows of their own goalpost in the third quarter and just leading them through in a big 55-yard play. So, yeah, it's got to go to Cooper Goebel in my opinion.
And a quick look at other scores. Again, late Milwaukee with a 28-22 lead at Astoria. Winner of that game has an outside chance at staying alive for possibly the third spot to state. But tonight, the Banks Braves move into a tie with Tillamook for first place atop 4A District 1 with a 38-0 victory over Seaside. Seaside will drop to 2-1, 4-2 overall. Banks moves to 3-0, 6-1 overall. Jonathan?
And we got some other scores to report as well. Still working on getting the Marshall Tillamook score. That's harder than you can imagine. But got some other scores of teams in the area here in the Washington County, Yamhill County area. McMinnville is losing to Liberty tonight, 31-21. That game, last report in the third quarter. Mountainside is leading Southridge 14-13. That is an absolute grudge match. Those two schools a couple years ago was covering the Mountainside team. Got a chance to talk with the athletic director at Mountainside. And, in the Metro League, there's a lot of rivalries. That one may be more bitterful. Bitterful? Can you say that? It might be more bitter, that rivalry. Mountainside, Southridge. Most of the Southridge students, when Mountainside opened up, most of the seniors seniors, juniors came from Southridge to Mountainside. So, yeah, there's no love there between those two schools. Westview is all over Sunset in a little bit of a surprise. I mean, Westview has that capable offense, but Sunset's just so dominant. Westview 34, Sunset 23. That's 34-13. Westview 34, Sunset 13. Newburgh leading Glencoe 28-13. That might be the shock of the night. Thought Newburgh might go winless this season, but Newburgh leading Glencoe at Newburgh 28-13. Sherwood leads Century 47-21. And we got Tualatin is in a battle with Lake Ridge. They're tied up at 21. West Lynn 21, Tigard 14. And let's see what other Washington County scores we report. Rainier leads Warrenton 16-8. Trevor, I think you might have mentioned that.
16-12 in the third was the last score I had.
Okay. That just has okay. And Amity leading Philomath 14-0. That was in the second quarter. Amity on top of Philomath 14-0. That is at Amity tonight. Salem Academy leads Harrisburg 21-14. Now we're getting a little bit south in the scoreboard here. Last check in the second quarter, Mazama, they're playing at Hidden Valley. Mazama 21, Hidden Valley 7. That was one of our 4A games to watch. And
Rainier Warrenton.
Got Rainier Warrenton score actually
24-12 in the.
Looks like Rainier was actually playing somebody else, but
Warren. Mid-Major Media, one of our broadcast.
Cascade 42, Newport 20. That was that's in the second half. 42-20. Cascade number 1 in the state in 4A. Jefferson leads Monroe as well. And Trevor, you got another score?
Oh, I was just going to say that Rainier Warrenton game. Rainier now leading 24-12 with about 8 minutes to go. Last update we had from that contest. LaSalle, Lane Jensen, our friend over at Estacada, reporting on Putnam. LaSalle, Putnam leading 42-7.
Yeah, this is LaSalle's. The interesting note about this is LaSalle's first game back in varsity competition this year. The last 2 weeks they've been playing in JV ball, and then before that they had some COVID issues that knocked them out. So between COVID and injuries, it's not all been COVID for over there at LaSalle. Some of them have just been injuries, so their roster is depleted, and then they got knocked down to JV competition. And so this week was their first game back to varsity play.
One other score to report from last night involving Amity, who the Braves played last week, and hammered Amity, comes back in a big way and knocks off Philomath 20-6 at home again in 3A football. No score to report from Tillamook and Marshfield. And Milwaukee with a 28-22 lead late at Astoria. Last score we had in that contest. Our Oregon National Guard hero of the game, Cooper Goebel, 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown running to account for 3 of the Braves' 5 touchdowns tonight. And Jonathan, you have anything you want to add before we wrap things up next week, Milwaukee?
Well, I was just going to say another shutout here for the Banks Braves this season, and this is within the last 3 or 4 weeks here. That's 2 shutouts for the Banks Braves over a team that had a high-powered offense coming in. And so just shout out there. I think it's about 4 or 5 shutouts here this season. So as the teams are Astoria fans or the Banks fans are down there on the field, just visiting with their student athletes, and also looks like I see some Seaside trying to reunite with families here. Again, next week, the homestand continues for the Banks Braves. Actually, 2 more weeks here. So Banks, a big win here. You know, they get the leg up in the standings, in the District 1 standings, going to 3-0, joining, of course, Tillamook at 3-0. Seaside falling to 2-1 in the standings, and it looks like they're going to have some company if Milwaukee holds off Astoria, as they are leading 28-22 last report in the fourth quarter there in Astoria. So it looks like Milwaukee and Seaside going to be 2-1. It's going to be that tight going into it. So Milwaukee's still staying alive. It appears for that third playoff spot as well. Although, and then next week, big game here, Milwaukee and Banks. And, of course, Seaside is going to return home to host Tillamook next week. So we'll be watching that game as well as we go. Like we told you, the next 3 weeks is really going to decide who wins that District 1 championship. Trevor? Trevor, you had something to say? Or?
Oh no, I was just going to have you take us out.
Oh,
but yeah,
right.
Milwaukee 1-2 after if they hold on for that win over Astoria, so they'll keep their slim playoff hopes alive. If they're able to win out and get either Tillamook Banks or Seaside to lose, they'd have to get Seaside to lose their next 2 games against Milwaukee and.
Well, Seaside has
Tillamook and Milwaukee left, so Seaside would have to lose both those and then have Milwaukee. Milwaukee's going to get a win against Valley Catholic, so it could come down to that Milwaukee-Seaside game for the final spot from the District 1 to the playoffs. But that'll do it for tonight from Kelly Field. Final score 38-0, Jonathan.
Seaside is actually going to be they're hosting Tillamook next week, and then they'll be at Astoria, so they're going to stay on the coast for their last 2 games.
They already beat Milwaukee 16-14, So for Jonathan Lee, I'm Trevor Beard. Final score, Banks 38, Seaside 0. Thanks for listening to tonight's broadcast. Our Oregon National Hero of the Game, Oregon National Guard Hero of the Game, Cooper Goebel, 3 touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 running. Thanks for listening to tonight's game.